The same bus to and from school every day.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? The color of your skin don't matter to me.
Hey Jess, you want some of the worst gum you'll ever have? Juicy fruit, fun for 5 seconds. So over time, Jess and Leslie start to become friends after she gives him cardboard flavored gum and he saves her from getting face pounded by the mean bully girl.
What she's doing? She has to take her to kill her.
Dude, the death wish tobacco's for 8th graders.
That's right, people. Moving. I'm a great farm boy.
And so one leads to another and they end up hanging out after school because neither one of them really wants to go home like ever, but especially right now. And then they run through the forest around their houses for a while with the shirts around their waists like triple knotted, I assume. How are these not falling off right now?
What are you doing?
That was so much fun. You have to try. Come on.
Now they swing over to the other side of the river and Leslie just goes like full Corky girl when she starts imagining that this place is actually some kind of magical world or something like that.
Too bad for them. They got so close.
What are you talking about?
That's the sound of the prisoners rattling their chains.
What prisoners?
The prisoners of the Dark Master.
You're one of those girls. I gotta go wash my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So basically, Leslie's just like a full-on manic pixie dreamer, right? But you know, watching movies like this, and then thinking back when I was this age, like it's kind of funny how like the romantic fantasy girl for every pygmy boy, aka me, was just a girl with a positive attitude that has interests. My dude, when I was 12, all I ever wanted was a girl like this to walk up to me and be like, "Hi, I like Digimon." So this part of the forest becomes their own little fantasy world. They're the king and queen of this ancient magical kingdom.
Just close your eyes, but keep your mind wide open. Wow. Terabithia.
And in this place, they imagine all the problems of their real lives are just monsters they can fight off. Like the bully girl is a giant troll, or that one kid who was like, "My news detective's going on." He's a giant squirrel monster that just uppercuts right in the face. He's a giant squirrel monster that just uppercuts right in the face.
Really?
You know, the kind of place where bullies, teachers, parents, no one can tell them what to do. Now, as they keep hanging out and building this world, we learn that Leslie's parents are writers. And when they're buckled down writing a new book, they pretty much just completely ignore Leslie for days or weeks at a time.
Where's your dad work?
My mom. It's my mom. They're writers.
Writers. What are they writing?
Well, my mom got famous on Wattpad a couple years ago for writing a book about every member of BTS falling in love at the same time with Judy Hopps from Zootopia. Instead of me, things like that. So the movie kind of goes on like this, with Jess and Leslie become Leslie's best friends as they build their magic kingdom of Terabithia together.
It's nice to meet you.
Thank you. You too.
So, are you and your family getting settled in okay?
Yes, ma'am.
That's nice. Not too late, okay, honey? Weird and weirder.
Jess also just like randomly decides to adopt the dog one day and give it to Leslie, and somehow they're swinging back and forth on the rope with this thing. I gotta call shenanigans, okay? Now, as they defeat the monsters of Terabithia, this also bleeds over into the real world. Like they defeat the bully girl by writing her a fake love note from the coolest boy in 8th grade. And then letting that play out.
I got your note. That was really sweet. I'm saving. He's gonna ride James home today.
He's got a what?
Well, he better tell us because it looks like he's heading home on his own bus.
Or like they become more friendly with Miss Edmonds, so the other bully kids won't mess with them before or after school. And suddenly, just looking over at Leslie, kind of like, hey, you know, maybe some girls don't have cooties. He spends all this time drawing and painting monsters and magical things for Terabithia, until of course his sister has to come along and just ruin everything.
Hey, Bill.
Wasn't me.
It was to you.
Can't prove it. Daddy.
Sweetie, is he picking on you?
She was in my stuff.
What stuff?
your stuff, huh? Let me see that. Son, what the heck is BTS doing at Judy Hopps in this picture? Now, one Saturday, just randomly out of nowhere, Jess gets a phone call from Miss Edmonds.
Wait, who is this?
I know it's a Saturday, but it's your teacher, Miss Edmonds. Planning on taking my nephews into the city to the museum. And my sister changed her plans last minute, so I had a thought.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is he just calling him up on a Saturday to hang out? Is it weird that I think this is kind of weird, like that this teacher would just call up this kid to hang out on a Saturday? But still, somehow, Jess gets to spend a whole day one-on-one with his crush and be all happy and stuff. But like, okay, so this kid draws pictures in his free time, he makes friends with the cute new girl who likes fantasy stuff, and his hot teacher calls him to hang out? Did I write this movie? And then he goes home.
What's going on? Your friend Leslie's dead. She drowned in a creek this morning. Apparently she tried to swing across on a rope and it broke.
This just came out of nowhere. No build-up. There's nothing. Just this insane tonal shift. His best friend Leslie just dies. And like, you think this would be the end of the movie, but there's still an entire third of it left as Jess tries to understand what happened and why, and just that, like, this is his life now.
Jess, next time, you should invite Leslie to go. She'd like that.
This movie goes from like wacky fantasy kids movie to the most depressing thing you've ever seen so fast. And it's not just here either. Like earlier in the movie, it's Jess's birthday. He gets this really cool like race car track toy thing.
It's cheap junk.
No, it isn't. I love it.
I think I love some of the gun in the movie.
I don't have to get the hang of it yet, Dad.
Go ahead, keep the box and we'll see if we can take it back.
You know, being a middle child myself, this part hit me so hard. Jess never gets anything of his own. He shares a room with his sister, he has to wear his older sister's shoes, and finally he gets his own toy. He has to wear his older sister's shoes, and finally he gets his own toy on his birthday. And after like 5 minutes, his dad's like, "This is stupid, I'm getting rid of it." Man, this movie is hard to watch sometimes. And so, at the end of the movie, Jess finally understands that Leslie is never coming back and decides to build a bridge across the river, a bridge to Terabithia, and brings his little sister to show her this magic world that he and Leslie invented. A world where all his problems are just monsters he could fight off, where his hand-me-down shoes and his dirty clothes, like, none of that mattered. A place where Leslie's parents didn't ignore her and Jess's dad couldn't yell at him. It was a place where life wasn't quite so hard, and growing up wasn't so scary.
Yeah, see ya.
Hey, orange. Hey,
But yeah, this movie's a perfect example of something Disney couldn't even dream of nowadays. I've thought about this over the years I've been talking about these 2000s movies specifically. At some point, we kind of lost the family movie. Kid stuff now is very kiddie, and things for teens and adults is like really edgy. Or you have superhero stuff, and like that's kind of it. But there used to be this very active middle ground of movies that were family friendly enough that any age could watch them, but they had like a slightly older audience in mind, so the topics and themes would sometimes be rather mature, but just like adult, if that makes sense. Like I think Home Alone 1 and 2 fit into this, or like older Pixar movies, for example. They were really good at this. Classic example here, but the movie Up, right? Kids and adults can both enjoy watching this movie, but depending on how much life experience you have, like you can get very different things out of it. And of course, Bridge to Terabithia, right? I mean, it's about 12-year-old kids, but there's so much more to this movie than just the apparent age demographic. And like, I don't know, I just feel like we kind of lost this type of movie that almost everyone has very fond memories. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please watch another one. That's how the algorithm works. Click on this one that's being recommended to you right now, right here on the screen. It actually helps a lot if you do that, because like that's how you can Also, if you have any movies or TV shows you'd like to recommend, send me an email at alchemyerscontact@gmail.com and I'll put them on my absurdly long list of movies that I need to get to. So, anyway, hope I made your day a little bit better, and I'll see you all next time.
It's that time of year again when we all vow to eat better. For those of you eating plant-based diets, our menu has over 8
members of Family Tech Support didn't volunteer.
We were chosen to be round-the-clock
So as I've said many times, I have a huge list of movies and TV shows that I always mean to get to, but then for whatever reason I just don't. The Percy Jackson movies have been on this list for like years at this point. You know, I should really get around to doing the Percy Jackson movies. And I've just been saying that like every 6 months. Well, with the Disney Plus Percy Jackson remake coming out in December, it's finally time, okay? I swear, I'm doing it. I'm watching the Percy Jackson movies. So the first one came out in 2010, the height of the supernatural YA movie. You know, Twilight was going strong, Harry Potter was wrapping up. A couple years after that, we got like Hunger Games, Divergent, Maze Runner. And among all of these, only Percy Jackson was so bad that it needed a remake. Yeah, I'm telling you, I watched this movie and like, what the heck even was this? Let's take a walk and I'll show you what I mean. But before that, really quick, this is brought to you by Raycon. Absolute top quality earbuds for like half the price of all the other best ones. Okay, that's Raycon. You know those other dumb earbuds, the white ones that people think make it look cool to walk around like this for some reason? Those ain't no Raycons. People out there paying $250 for that? Now, I've been these for years. Yeah, the Raycons are pretty good. They sound incredible. They don't fall out of my ears, which is actually something that happens quite different. Let me tell you, these dudes last a long time. Okay, the website says 32 hours, and I believe it. I mean, these earbuds have like Nintendo DS Lite levels of battery life, okay? And for all you hardcore listen-to sounders, which would be my dystopian YA fiction group name, by the way, they have the new fitness earbuds, sweat-proof, even more battery life, less than $100. You kidding me right now? Raycon is really making a name for themselves, not just in quality and portable audio, but also they got home and tech products now, like the Magic 180 cable, which is a lightning and USB charging cable you can rotate. They got Raycon Fossa filters now. Come on, I'm telling you, Raycon's really stepping things up. So if you're in the market for new earbuds, or you know, there might be a couple of gifts for the holidays coming up, you know, and you can get early access to the Black Friday deal right now. Head over to buyraycon.com/Myers. You're gonna get 20 to 50% off the entire site. So don't miss it. Okay, back to the show. The movie starts out with us seeing a giant man walking out of the ocean. The wheel becomes a small man, and here we get the entire premise of the movie just dumped on us all at once. You know, I love how these Greek gods are just two dudes from the UK. I mean, come on, what are they gonna do? Make them Greek or something? We then do a hard cut over to our main character, Percy Jackson. Just your average high school kid who can hold his breath underwater for a really long time. You know, I've always been jealous of people who have friends who hype them up, you know, instead of just like changing the subject whenever you come around. That's fine. Well, really any friends, to be honest, because I'll tell you, when you hit your 30s, your friend group goes like, but also, this is Purple Jack, the local loser nobody in his high school with the most 2010 haircut you'll ever see. This dude looks like the guy from Smosh. Remember back when every YouTuber looked like this and no one was committing felony crime or child endangerment? That's what I make of a time now. Anyway, so this is where we start to learn a little more about this character.
Would someone please explain what Shakespeare was trying to convey in this line for the dialogue? Percy Jackson.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, so the movie really wants us to believe that even though he looks like a Hollister model and can hold his breath underwater forever, he's actually just some nobody loser guy because he has dyslexia. Because, hey, you know, if there's one group of kids in high school who never get popular, it's hot guys who can't read. Anyway, so feeling sorry for himself, he goes home to straighten his bangs.
Hey, Mom.
How was school today?
The usual.
Hey, Orange!
This, dyslexia thing's getting worse.
Oh, why do you think that?
I don't know. Maybe it's the ADHD.
And don't even get me started on my alters, Mom, okay? You just wait till they invent TikTok and it's all over for you normies. Now, this all wasn't bad enough. We also learn about why home is the only place Percy hates more than being at school.
Woman!
Hi, Gabe.
Where's my beer?
In the fridge.
So what, it's supposed to magically float from the icebox and into my hand?
That's right, Percy has a new stepdad who's just a real winner, you know what I'm saying?
Why do you stay with that kid? He smells like a sewer. He sleeps till noon every day and he can't even hold a job. Why do you stay with him?
He's been good to us, Percy, in ways you just don't understand.
Anyway, so the next day, Percy's class goes to this Greek gallery museum place thing when he finds out that his dyslexia actually means that he can
just know what looks amazing. And they know where remarkable is always in stock. At Floor & Decor.
And then he finds out that his teacher is actually a demon monster who's trying to kill him. Wow, what a day.
Oh, hey. How did you get up there?
Now his friend Grover and this other teacher overhear this. No one else in the entire museum does, of course, but whatever. Anyway, and they help him escape. He runs back home to his mom. It turns out everyone else is in on some kind of big secret except for him.
Oh, nice one. Like I said, I'm your protector. Sally, Percy has big now. Like right now.
So Percy, his mom, and Grover all hop in the car and drive to somewhere in the Vancouver countryside, where they get attacked by a minotaur who just like totally disintegrates the mom. And then Percy passes out and wakes up in a secret camp called Camp Half-Blood. Just the most literal camp name you could give it. Imagine if like every summer camp was there. Alright kids, welcome to your first day at camp. The older kids are going to literally try to murder you, and the counselor's going to do nothing about it because he's only like 4 years older than the rest of you anyway. How is this legal? But yeah, anyway, so Percy wakes up in this camp.
3 days?
Hey,
whoa! What would be the correct term to say? No.
Oh man, come on, Grover, you're one of those kids. I thought you said you liked My Little Pony for the writing.
No. All of it was real? Mom's gone?
Yeah, Percy, I can tell you're just really torn up about the whole thing. Aw, man, my mom just got crushed to death by a minotaur? Whoa, that's crazy. Anyway, this is where Percy learns that he's actually half Greek god, half human. And this Camp Half-Blood is for kids like him, so they can all come together and learn the importance of ancient Greek battle tactics.
This is Camp Half-Blood.
Half meaning what?
I think you know. Half meaning half mortal, half god.
Whoa, guys, watch the arrows.
Remember Mr. Bruno said sometimes they come down to Earth and they fall in love with mortals?
But of course Percy doesn't believe any of this nonsense. I mean, come on, how could someone like him be a demigod?
See, man, this place right here is the place where you learn to harness your powers.
I think you have the wrong guy, alright? I'm not a hero, I'm a loser.
Yeah, Grover, come on, look at me. A hot guy with emo hair and skater jeans and 20. Literal rock bottom right here.
I have dyslexia, ADHD.
Those are your greatest gifts. That's because your brain is hardwired for ancient Greek, not English, and your ADHD. You're impulsive, Percy. You can't be still. Those are your natural battle reflexes, man.
Wait. That's right, everybody. The real superpower is mental disability. Okay, the truth is, you have dyslexia because actually you can read ancient Greek, and your ADHD is because you have the mind of a warrior who also had ADHD, apparently. Oh, and all that crippling anxiety you have, that's because you have the soul of an ancient Greek philosopher, but like one of the cool ones, though, not the weird ones who like live in bathtubs and can take a dump in front of a church or whatever. Yeah, that's cool and all, but all I really wanted was just to not have a panic attack when I go to the McDonald's drive-thru. But anyway, going around the camp some more, they come upon a certain someone who makes Percy go like,
what's her name?
She would squash you like a bug.
Her name.
Annabeth, daughter of Athena, the goddess of wisdom.
Well, apparently she's not wise enough to wear a hair tie when she's doing all this. What kind of idiot would fight like this? Also, we learned that his teacher in the wheelchair from earlier, that guy's actually a centaur.
Mr. Bruner?
In my world, I'm known as Chiron. Have you recovered?
Am I recovered? You're not in a wheelchair,
You know, jokes aside, okay, I do appreciate that they're trying to put a positive spin on, like, mental and physical disability, you know? You're not broken, you're special or whatever, like, I get that. But it seems kind of weird that they're like, this guy's in a wheelchair because he's actually a centaur, and this guy's legs don't work because he's half goat. Like, I don't know how inspiring that's gonna be to someone who's actually like this. But anyway, after this, we get more and more dumping.
The father's beside him. God of the seas.
Why didn't anybody tell me?
For your own safety. It's exceedingly rare for a child to be born to one of the big three.
The big three, of course, refers to Poseidon, Zeus, and Hades. Now, I don't know much about the other two, but I'm pretty sure Zeus's whole thing was making a whole lot of babies, you know what I'm saying?
A threat? Who am I threatening?
Zeus and Hades? That's why your mother married your stepfather. Pungent odor masks the smell of your blood.
Wait, so his mom specifically found the smelliest salt. And they need to find this vault and bring it back in 10 days, or else Zeus will destroy everything. Because that makes sense.
Zeus's bolt is the most powerful weapon ever created. And if it's not
I got a fever. The only perception is more cowbell.
This is beyond my wildest. Zeus will destroy everything, because that makes sense.
Zeus's bolt is the most powerful weapon ever created. And if it's not returned by the summer solstice in 10 days, there will be a war.
This is your problem, all right? Not mine.
The Libyans would be forced to choose sides. Earth would become a battleground. Mountains erupted, earthquakes, raging fires.
But for now, at least, Percy has to stay at this camp because it has a magic force field around it that's going to stop all the bad guys from finding him and doing bad guy stuff. And later on, there's this part where Percy and Annabeth get in a sword fight, and like Percy loses, but then he takes like one sip of water and just beats up the whole camp. In slow motion, of course, because that's how you know he's cool. Anyway, so that night, all the kids are hanging out doing teenager stuff like making out and riding skateboards. But then this happens.
Percy Jackson, bring me the bolt. Hand it to me, and I will exchange it for your mother.
You know, Percy, I'm not sure if his raging fire demon of death is the most trustworthy invention, okay? Yeah, so remember how the camp is supposed to not let anything bad in, and no one knows Percy's here because there's the force field, and then Hades literally shows up and he's like, ah, yes, hello, Percy Jackson. So naturally, Percy, Grover, and Annabeth, for some reason, they all team up to sneak out of the camp and find a way to the underworld to tell Hades that Percy does not have the bolt, and it would be pretty sweet if he could just, like, let his mom go, my dude. And so they get some help from Luke, the camp leader guy, who's also the son of Hermes, the messenger god.
What are you guys up to? We're going to get my mom back.
Your dad is the messenger of the gods. One of the only ones who's gotten in and out of the underworld.
Getting in is the easy part. Getting out, well, that's tricky. This is a map of Persephone's pearls. You mean Hades' wife?
Okay, so basically what they have to do is find these 3 pearls that Hades' wife Persephone left on Earth that will allow them to leave the underworld after they get Percy's mom back, okay? And then the movie suddenly just turns into like a road trip flick where they use the Not Marauders map to find the magic pearls, all of which coincide with some famous Greek mythology monsters like Medusa.
We're Medusa's lair.
Well, this is a fabulous surprise.
This movie, man. I've never seen Greek mythology look less cool than in this movie. Or then they have to fight a Hydra in Nashville, Tennessee. Like, not only are all the Greek gods and monsters real, right? But also, they're all located in the USA, of all places. What are the chances? And the whole time, we get the privilege of Grover's endless cavalcade of one-liners.
Is it me or is it raining cows?
That's nasty. The health department need to get this place a theft.
Nashville.
Ah, great. Home of my least favorite music. Got a few dead people you might recognize. Jackson, Grant, Benjamin Franklin.
Now, while they're on this trip, they also find out that Percy's stepdad is kind of making a scene back home.
Jackson and his mother, Sally Luciano.
Talk to me about your son, Percy Jackson.
No, he's not my son. He's his stepson. 5 nights ago, he tried to kill me and he threw his mother on the ground and his...
Do you get it? It's because he's half goat and goats eat garbage, so he's eating the soda can. Do you get it?
It knocked me out. When I woke up, Sally was gone. She was kidnapped by Percy. She would never...
Shut up, Dave. Crazy. Now I'm a fugitive.
Oh no, what are they gonna do? This is totally gonna mess up their whole plan, right guys? What's this? This has no effect on anything in the movie, and they just keep on driving across the country, staying in hotels and eating at restaurants, and it never comes up ever again? Huh. Isn't that something? And so they go from New Jersey to Tennessee, and then all the way to Las Vegas, which is like a 26-hour drive, by the way. This movie sure is giving us a real tangible sense of urgency. Alright guys, we gotta hurry and find those pearls, get to the underworld, save my mom before the world gets destroyed, okay? Come on guys, there's no time to lose. Anyway, so long story short, they get the 3 pearls, they open the gate to the underworld, which turns out is the Hollywood sign. You know what this movie is? Okay, this movie's like National Treasure meets Spy Kids. Alright, but anyway, they get to the underworld, they talk to Hades and his insanely hot wife, because surely Hades will see that this is all just a misunderstanding, right? I mean, come on.
Ultimate, let me tell you the truth. I'm not the light.
This is the name of the movie! Rotten Tomatoes score 48%? More like 48,000%.
Well, I was hoping that when you
you saw that I wasn't you let my mother go.
So then he summons up Percy's mom, and Percy goes to give her a hug, and he drops this shield that he got from Luke earlier in the movie, and inside that shield, what do you know, it has Zeus's bolt? What? That's right, turns out Luke, son of Hermes, stole the bolt and was trying to frame Percy the whole time so that Hades could defeat Zeus and Poseidon or something.
Luke, why do you want to war the gods? They've been in power for too long. I say it's time for our generation to take over. Remold the world in our image. A world of new heroes.
So here's the situation. They only have 10 minutes until Zeus starts his god war thing. And so then, obviously, Luke and Percy have a fight scene that goes on for about 4 hours. And ultimately, Percy gets the bolt back and they escape to Mount Olympus, which is inside the Empire State Building, because of course it is.
Woo, we've got 2 minutes!
Yes, not only did all the Greek gods immigrate to the U.S. at some point, but also the gateway to Mount Olympus is in New York City and has to be turned on with breaker switches. Anyways, at the end of the movie is Percy Jackson giving the bolt back to Zeus, and then the war is stopped just at the last second. And then Percy and Poseidon have a little heart-to-heart talk where Poseidon's like, hey, sorry I left you alone and stuff. My brother told me that I couldn't hang out with you anymore. Oh yeah, well guess what, Dad? Thanks to you, I write Sonic the Hedgehog fanfic now. And then Percy goes back to camp with Grover and Annabeth and just has to be a half god now, as you do.
Oh, Percy, watch out! Hey, whoa, you guys gonna kill the man and save the world? Great job. All you guys take a lunch break.
Gee, I don't know, guys. Maybe don't walk in front of them? Maybe you're the problem. You ever thought of that? And of course, at the very, very end, Percy realizes that he has a big old crush on Annabeth, the girl who looks an awful lot like his mom. I mean, these two could totally be like brother and sister, which is actually the only semi-accurate depiction of Greek mythology in this movie. But all the same, that's pretty much it. So this movie is very loosely based on the best-selling book and directed by Chris Columbus from Harry Potter fame. And like, it's so obvious that they really thought this was going to be the next Harry Potter out there right now. It definitely was not. They did a sequel though in 2013, which is apparently somehow even worse. And I, for one, cannot wait to check it out. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please watch another one, because that's how the algorithm works. So click on this one that's being recommended to you right now, right here on the screen. It actually helps a lot if you do that, because I can tell YouTube videos that my videos are about. Also, if you have any movies or TV shows you'd like to recommend, send me an email at alexmyerscontact@gmail.com and I'll put them on my list. Okay, so as I mentioned back in my first Percy Jackson video, I've been trying to get to these movies for like literal years now, but you know, then the Princess Switch trilogy came along and what was I supposed to say no? But as is the inevitable fate of everything, Percy Jackson is getting a full reboot series on Disney+, so now I have to. I did a video about the first movie a couple weeks ago, but here we are with Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters. This movie came out in 2013, a full 3 years after the first one. And much like with the first movie, this one also came out and just really set the world on fire. You know what I'm saying? A love letter to the fans, if you will. So what do you say we take a walk and see what kind of wacky shenanigans Percy and friends will get into this time? But before that, really quick, a big thank you to Opera for sponsoring this video. Opera is one of the longest running web browsers in history, and this browser comes packed with a whole ton of features you won't find anywhere else for free. It's just right there in the browser. Lucid mode will automatically sharpen any video you watch online. And someone who's been watching and doing YouTube for a long time, it's no secret that YouTube really just compresses the mother heckin' everything out of their videos. But with Opera's Lucid mode, it'll make them look much sharper and clearer. It almost kind of feels like they're maybe double the resolution. At least that's how I see it. Also, the way Opera handles tabs is absolute genius, I think. Instead of just having like a bunch of tabs open, you know, just sitting there as proud as can be, Opera has a feature called Tab Island. Any related tabs are all put into their own like one big tab. So instead of trying to find that one Amazon thing you opened like 6 hours ago, somewhere between your WebMD search that tells you that you have like 8 incurable diseases and your passing thoughts about the cultured anime, you can just click on the Amazon Tab Island and they're all there waiting for you. Opera also comes with a built-in VPN and ad blocker, which are almost essential nowadays, except when you're watching my YouTube videos, right? Right, guys? It also has a built-in music player integration with like Spotify, YouTube Music, that kind of stuff. It has Messenger app integration. You can do almost anything just right from inside Opera itself. And the newest iteration of the Opera browser now comes with built-in AI function, because of course it does. That's not. So while you're browsing, you can ask it questions, you can have it find information for you, or explain what you're reading in more simple terms, or of course you can have it write code for you, which is the most common use of AI apparently, which I guess kind of makes sense, but whatever. And of course, Opera is free to use, so if you're still using one of those basic no security browsers, why not give Opera a try? Click my link down below in the description and download Opera today. Okay, back to the show.
7 years ago, 4 of these children were headed to Camp Half-Blood, the only place on Earth that is safe for our kind. Only 3 of them made it.
The movie starts off with some deep camp lore about when Grover and Annabeth and some other kids no one cares about were trying to get to the camp, but then they were attacked by some ancient Greek monster, and the one girl, Talia, sacrificed herself to save the other kids.
Keep going. I'll warn Mom. No, Talia, they'll kill you.
I'm sorry. Anyway, so she just gets like Tom and Jerry out of there, and then this happens.
Her father, Zeus, found another way for her to live. A gift to ensure no one in Camp Half-Blood would die the same way. The barrier. To protect them from those who live to their death.
Wait, I'm sorry, hold on. The magic barrier's only 7 years old? This Camp Half-Blood thing has been around for like what, hundreds or thousands of years, I assume, because, you know, the Greek gods have been doing a whole lot of who knows what for a long time. Like back in the first movie, Grover told us how many prominent historical figures were like half gods or whatever, right? And they just now thought putting one of these up might be a good idea. And like, you know, the older kids are all like, yo, a bunch of weenies. Back in my time, I used to fight minotaurs every day on my way to camp, and that makes me better, according to some arbitrary metrics I just made up for this conversation. So fast forward to today, and Percy now lives his entire life in this summer camp thing.
There goes another one.
So the movie gets going with Percy on this like American Ninja Warrior thing where they have to like climb to the top to get this ring or whatever. Very relevant to ancient Greek culture. I mean, this is just like a physical challenge from Double Dare. But ultimately, Percy ends up losing to this girl, Clarice.
So, what I'm wondering is, Percy, that first quest you went on, beginner's luck, wasn't it?
Yeah, okay, but like Percy's god powers are water-based, so like how is this even fair? Oh, and also, yeah, you know, so after the first movie, Percy gets just a little bit of popularity, and then bam, it goes from cool, real emo kid to totally try-hard, preppy wannabe. Tails oldest time. We used to go to so many Say Anything concerts, now suddenly you wear an Abercrombie, and oh, I've always liked the cross, dude. Yeah, okay, Percy, whatever you say. But whatever, anyway, so losing to Clarice kind of kickstarts Percy's depression arc, which kind of started to doubt himself and whether he should even be here in the first place.
Maybe I only stopped Luke from destroying Olympus because I had Annabeth and Grover helping, right?
Yeah, everybody, you know how friendship and teamwork are for losers and all that?
You ever felt everything you'd ever done, maybe you didn't really do it? It was all just luck or something?
I mean, to be fair, I think luck is a huge part of most of life. Like, I've gotten these hate emails before where they're like, you only got big on YouTube because the algorithm. Like, wow, you sure cracked the case on that one. Anyway, so after this, Percy gets called into the main office thing by Chiron, who's looking a little different, may I say. What, was Pierce Brosnan too busy getting ready for that James Corden Cinderella masterpiece?
As you know, you are believed to be Poseidon's only heir. So it would seem that belief has been held in error.
Hold on, you're saying Percy has a brother?
When you cross a death, you are the nymph you get.
It's my brother.
That's right, Poseidon did the old devil's tango with a sea nymph and created a Cyclops, which is not at all how any of this works, but hey, what do I know? Also, I love how these movies just like lightly reference, but also completely gloss over the fact that also this is even a thing because these Greek gods just cannot stop smashing. But yeah, so now Percy has one of them half-brothers Cyclops dude guys with the most uncanny CGI I've ever seen. Like, this dude never actually looks like anything. It's so weird.
You're the big shot here, right? You saved the world and stuff. That was cool to bring me here.
Dad brought you here?
I was upstate in the woods. One day, this tribe shows up over my head.
So the story goes that he spent like his whole life in the forest, and one day, today, for some reason, decided to visit to the campfire. But right after this, something starts attacking the bear.
It's chill.
It's right, a giant caucus bull, which is like a robot bull that can breathe fire. Isn't that something? Anyway, this dude just kind of caucus bull tortures his way all around the camp until Percy blows it up with a magic pen sword thing. And what do you know? Turns out Luke was actually behind this the whole time.
Maybe next time you try to drown someone, well, first make sure he's not a demigod who can swim.
Luke.
Turns out you're not the only half-blood who's hard to kill. You know, prophecy.
What prophecy? What are you talking about?
Oh, we're doing prophecies now. That's right, Percy. You're not just a special little boy. You're the most specialist little boy. Wow, who could have seen this one coming?
Wow. Huh. Well, that's the long list of things your buddy Kyron hasn't shared with you.
Well, yeah, he didn't even tell me he was getting recast in this movie, so what do you expect? Then Luke pulls out a giant pocket watch, because of course he's one of those guys, and disappears. So with all this new prophecy stuff in his head, Percy goes to ask Kyron about it, and then he sends Percy upstairs to the attic where there's like a zombie oracle spirit who's just been there the whole time.
I'm the spirit of Delphi, speaker of the prophecies of Phoebus Apollo, slayer of the mighty Python.
At least in Harry Potter, they would have like a secret room in a giant castle that's been closed up for hundreds of years or something like that. But like, this is just the top floor of the cafeteria at the show choir team building camp. Like, what even is it?
It was a prophecy about me?
Aye. But before you learn the future, know first the past.
Anyway, so this spirit tells Percy that Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades are all brothers, and their dad is Kronos. Kronos was king of the Titans. He used to eat his children, as one does. So one day, the three brothers killed him and locked him in a box, and they sent that down to Tartarus, which is like the deepest part of the underworld or whatever. And the prophecy says that the half-blood child of these three gods will come along and either save or destroy Olympus.
And that half-blood of the eldest gods shall reach 20 against all odds. And the world
The evil soul, cursed blade shall reap.
One cannot live while the other lives. Actually, love is the most powerful magic. Actually, I'm a Horcrux now. I don't know, man. J.K. Rowling's just making stuff up out of nowhere. Now, in the middle of all this, we also find out that the Talia tree, or whatever this is dying now because the barrier was broken. And this is apparently a really big deal.
Is the tree dead?
No, but dying.
Everybody, we're going to need a guard detail to patrol the perimeter.
Feels like she's dying all over again.
Yeah, this tree is so important that no one bothered to mention it until now. Like, Annabeth is really torn up about this thing she has never once brought up in conversation. So what ends up happening is they need to go find this thing called the Golden Fleece, and this will allow them to resurrect anything they want. But it's located in the Bermuda Triangle, aka the Sea of Monsters.
As to who that champion might be, our flight calls for only our finest hero. The scion of the god of war, Clarice!
Clarice again, man, I tell you what, she's over here acting like she doesn't use makeup from Walgreens and totally didn't fart in class that one time in 7th grade. But given how Percy's feeling about himself and everything, he just kind of decides that, no, this is my quest. Actually, I should do this because I said so.
This is a bad idea.
You don't even know what I was gonna say.
You were going to say that you're going after the fleece to save the camp. I get what you're doing here. You're worried about the one quest wanted thing and you want to make your bones. But Inuit and Clarice are already going after the fleece and it's not cool to bogart on someone else's quest.
I think this is my quest too.
Oh, is that so? He's like those girls who just discovered astrology like a week ago. You know, there's this thing I want to do, but like I don't want to feel bad about doing it or take responsibility for anything, so ta-da! Anyway, so Percy, Grover, Annabeth, and Tyson, the Cyclops, they all sneak out of camp again to go find the Golden Fleece for themselves. And then they get picked up by a magic car that goes really fast and is split in half and humans can't see it. Wow, what a wacky idea. But they don't have enough money to go all the way to Florida, thank goodness, because I'd rather just find hide during it, you know? So they end up in Washington, D.C., and then Grover gets kidnapped by Luke and his gang. Oh no, who's gonna do all the hilarious one-liners now? But as always, Annabeth, aka not Audrey, just knows everything about whatever they need in the moment they need it. Like how every UPS store is actually just a front for the Greek god cartel.
Now, you are here about Hermes?
His son, actually. It's kind of important.
Yeah, I could tell the way you burst in here all rude like.
His son's name is Lucas Stellan.
Oh, what has that wayward boy of mine gotten himself into now?
Wait. You're...
Hermes.
Wait, hold on. So in the first movie, Luke said that he's never met his dad, and he broke into his house and stole his magic shoes and all that. But like, this dude's dad was just a UPS guy? What? So then Hermes takes him to the magic UPS back room, and like, you know, it's just kind of sad how they just dropped all the ancient Greek theming from the first movie. Like back in that movie, the camp was this old Greek Spartan war camp thing, and Olympus was like this huge Acropolis or whatever. And then in the second movie, it's just like, hey, so let's have them go to a UPS store.
Thanks to QuickBooks business tax deduction features, I found $6,000 in tax savings. And I have access to live experts to help me file my taxes.
Take a seat.
Oh, come on! Give me a break!
Yeah, easy for you to say, Your Eminence.
Oh, actually, Mother's not easy for him. He's a god of freaking speed.
Well, except he's not the one whose butt is stuck to a big silver stick forever.
Oh boy, nothing makes the movie better than sassy, wisecracking animal sidekicks. Anyway, so Hermes gives them a magic thermos and this like packing tape that can destroy things. And after this, they leave the facility and they're just at the beach now. The sign says Chesapeake Beach, which is in Maryland, so I guess they kind of just gave up on the whole Florida thing. Actually, that's the right choice. There we go.
That's it. That's Luke's yacht.
Oh yeah, by the way, Luke is on a yacht in the ocean. Why and how does this teenager have a yacht? Who knows? Just supervillain things. But hey, don't worry everybody, because Tyson calls up his magical seahorse friend to take them there.
Did you know that boy seahorses get pregnant? Sometimes I think my dad's pregnant.
The government's using 5G to control our minds.
Thank you, friend. Tyson. Come on, buddy, we gotta go. Oh. Want some sugar?
Wait, hold on. This dude's been walking around this whole movie with sugar cubes in his pocket. And so long story short, they sneak their way onto the yacht, they fight Luke and his henchmen, which kind of makes no sense because Percy can control water and Luke can fly, but they're fighting on a yacht for some reason.
What are you doing? Don't walk on my roof.
And then ultimately, Percy, Annabeth, and Tyson jump onto a lifeboat and they use the magic thermos they got from Hermes to travel all the way down to here. Which again, Percy and Tyson already have water powers. Why do they need this? They can control water! But okay, so they finally arrive at the Sea of Monsters and get swallowed up by the Boba Fett Sarlacc pit from Star Wars. And inside, they run into Clarice, of all people.
You idiots! Better keep my electrical grid up and running or I'll plug your heads into it!
Clarice! Hey!
Jackson? What are you doing here?
We got swallowed up, just like you. Nice ship.
But then Percy gets this idea to use the giant cannon on top of Clarice's boat to shoot a hole in the monster and escape that way. How did no one else think of this? Who can say?
You should watch what you eat.
This is the greatest one-liner of all time. Better watch your cholesterol. Should have gone vegan. Sometimes when I'm home alone, I pretend I'm a pony. But anyway, so they escape the monster. They head out and to find out where they're trying to go somewhere. I don't know where they're going.
Look, I know this sounds insane, but it's kind of like my dyslexia, but instead of being able to read Greek, I can see map lines. 31.
So his magic dyslexia powers let him read the ocean now? This is the dumbest movie. So they follow Percy's magic dyslexia and they come to this weird little island with an abandoned theme park on it.
Polyphemus lives in an amusement park?
No, he lives on an island. But the goddess Circe thought building an amusement park on top of it was a good idea. It really wasn't.
Okay, I'm sorry, but like, how do you know any of this, Tyson? I mean, the movie tells us that he was a feral child who lived in the forest and scared some Boy Scouts or something, and then he ended up at camp one day, right? How do you know the entire history of this island that no one even knew existed till now?
Plummet of death? Well, that's subtle.
Looks like something really big went through there.
At least there's no line.
How do you know what that means? Also, again, like I just said earlier, like, what does any of this have to do with ancient Greek mythology? UPS stores and Six Flags? Whose idea was this? Anyway, so long story short, they go deeper into the island and they find Grover, who's been trying to get the police all this time by pretending to be a lady Cyclops.
Why are you wearing a dress? I'm having a really bad day. This is in disguise. The guy's half blind. He thinks I'm a Cyclops chambermaid.
You're watching Disney Channel. So they get the fleece, they trap the Cyclops in his lair, but then of course, what do you know, Luke shows up at the last second and just kind of... So he can finish his master plan of resurrecting Kronos. Wow.
You should consider yourselves lucky. It's been millennia in the making. You all get to see.
You used to be one of us.
Then I woke up.
Because I started listening to the Joe Rogan podcast and unlocked my third eye and my fourth moose knuckle. And so at the very end of the movie is just like pure Spy Kids nonsense with Kronos being resurrected and then Percy has to fight him with his magic sword and the cheesiest CGI since like Spy Kids 3. And so Percy beats him up and then he gets like sent back into the box thing and they take the fleece all the way back to camp so they can bring the Talia tree back to life. But when they do that, something crazy happens.
Who are you?
Percy, everything's all right. So, what's your name?
I'm Talia, daughter of Zeus.
Maybe it wasn't me. Maybe the Oracle meant Talia all along.
Oh my goodness, what a crazy cliffhanger. Hot dog, can't wait for the third one to finish out the... But yeah, so that's pretty much where the second and final Percy Jackson.
When you go rogue, you make your own fun. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Rogue nicotine pouches. Long lasting. Great.
Well, it's finally here. Over the past month or so, I've been talking about the Percy Jackson movies and just how generation-defining they were. Can't believe we never got a third one. But 13 years after the first movie came out, Disney decided to remake an old franchise? What? You don't say. Now, with the older movies, one of the biggest complaints from literally everyone, apparently, was that there were these, like, horribly mangled, abridged Frankenstein versions of the books, and then sometimes not even remotely at all like the books. But this new remake is being headed up by the guy who wrote the books, which means it could really go either way, because, you know, sometimes that does not work out well. But hey, like I said at the end of my Sea of Monsters video, at the very least, this new show can't be worse than this. So come along, kids, let's take a walk. But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Surfshark VPN is an app and browser extension that lets you change your IP address to be pretty much anywhere in the world you want. Now, what this means for you is it protects you from websites and other users trying to snoop on what you're doing and from where. Maybe your country has some like weird, strict content censoring laws, or you just don't want people to potentially hack your accounts. Well, Surfshark VPN can help you with all of that. But it also has a lot of very practical day-to-day uses, like allowing you to watch the Netflix libraries from almost any country. Fun fact, Slovakia has by far the highest number of movies and TV shows you can watch, with over 7,400 titles compared to 5,800 in the US. And all you gotta do is just install Surfshark VPN and tell it to put your IP address in Slovakia, and there you go. You have access to an extra 1,600 titles. Or Japan and Taiwan have the biggest anime libraries on Netflix, so using Surfshark VPN, you can have access to all of that. Or in the reverse, if you're traveling away from your country, you want to stay up to date on a certain show you're watching or whatever, you can use Surfshark VPN, put your IP address in your home country, and then wham bam boom bam. There you go. It's quick and easy to sign up and install, and only costs $2.49 per month with a 2-year subscription. So it barely costs you anything, really, and gives you access to all of this. And get this, you can use a single subscription on an unlimited number. You know, it's kind of sad, but and gives you access to all of this. And get this, you can use a single subscription on an unlimited number of devices. So let's say you and 4 other family members, y'all want to pitch in on one subscription. That means you get all of this for 50 cents a month. And right now, Surfshark is having their big holiday deal. Enter promo code Myers to get 6 additional months for free. Never been a better time to join them right now. So click my link down below, use the promo code Myers, and take advantage of this deal right now. Okay, back to the show.
If you think you might be one of us, my advice is turn away while you still can. Because once you know what you are, you'll sense it too. And they'll come for you. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Yeah, this guy sounds like one of these kids on TikTok start talking about like shifting into Hogwarts or something. I went to sleep and I was in Hogwarts, and then I teleported back here right when I woke up. Well, sorry everybody, turns out I am the main character of yours. Anyway, so this is Percy Jackson, just your average 12-year-old kid who gets bullied and made fun of because he's the relatable main character. But you know, to be fair, this was quite literally my middle school experience, so I'm with you, Percy.
I met Grover. We had a lot in common. And not just because we were both at the bottom of the food chain. And you know what? It felt good to talk about these things with Grover.
Now this guy...
It's that time of year again. We all know to eat better. For those of you packing on the protein, our menu has over 10 meals that have at least 40 grams of protein. And they're all craveable. Order today at Urban Plates.
tell me all about your favorite Bionicles characters. Now, one day, Percy and Grover's class takes a trip to the local Greek mythology exhibit.
The gods, the monsters, the heroes you see here in this room are reminders of what we are capable of.
You mean like cutting off Medusa's head and then having her 2 children she made with Poseidon jump out of her neck? This is actually real Greek mythology, by the way. So while this is all going on, Percy gets bullied by this girl in his class for no particular reason, and then this happens.
Percy?
And then immediately after this, Percy's pre-algebra teacher turns into a demon monster and attacks him, which honestly is the least surprising plot twist for a math teacher. Okay, let's be real here. But then he passes out and wakes up, and everyone's all like, uh-oh, guys, the weird kid's being weird again. But now he's in trouble for pushing the girl into the fountain, even though it wasn't him, it was his superpowers, obviously. I mean, come on, did no one else do that?
Isn't there anything else you'd like to say for yourself?
I didn't touch Nancy.
Mr. Underwood, do you have anything to add?
Percy had told me earlier in the day that he wanted to get back at Nancy for all she'd done to us.
Are you saying you saw Mr. Jackson assault Miss Bobofit?
Yes.
Friggin' turncoat Grover, tell you what, you better give me back all my Milli Vanilli CDs right this second, okay? You can keep the hit clips, though. I don't need those memories anymore. So because of this misunderstanding, and of course, frickin' Grover, Percy gets kicked out of his boarding school and has to go home to his mom and her deadbeat new husband, who spends all of his time trying to win in online gambling, which is going about as well as you'd expect.
So what'd you get kicked out for?
He said I attacked a kid on a field trip.
If you're gonna live under my roof, you gotta live by my rules.
Your roof? My mom is the only one employed here.
Anyway, so his mom is there too, and he tries to explain to her like what he thinks might be happening to him, but of course he just thinks it's like his ADHD or whatever, because that explains the demons for sure.
Mr. Brunner called me too. He told me about Grover.
Is there something else you want to talk about?
Something happened to me. Something.
Oh, Percy, trust me, we've all been there before. You just gotta tuck it in your waistband and cover it up with your math book in the hallway. You'll be fine. And so because he's been kicked out of school and the stepdad is here talking about peppers for some reason.
Make sure they put hot peppers on my sandwich.
Not if you're gonna ask like that.
I said please. You could have them put the peppers on my sandwich.
Percy and his mom take a little trip to their vacation cabin thing, which they have, apparently. You know, so they could sit down and have a little mommy Percy time and talk about life and stuff, my dude.
Do you know why we come to this cabin every year?
Because it's near the septic tank, so it's cheap.
I don't know why this line is so funny, but it's just so real. So she starts telling Percy the truth about what's really been going on this whole time and all the stuff about his dad he never knew before.
A long time ago, I met a man here on the beach. He was wise and brave. He wasn't a man at all. He was a god.
Come on, gross mom. I don't want to hear about how good he was in the sack.
The stories that I have told you about Greek gods and heroes and monsters, they are real.
Mom, wait, they're all real? You mean Aphrodite being born from her dad's castrated ball sack and the universe being made from Zeus's mom's breast milk? This is all real? Why is no one talking about this? And right that second, Grover shows up, coming back to beg for forgiveness, no doubt. Yeah, okay, I see how it is. You know, I'm keeping the Heelys too, by the way. Now, actually, he shows up because turns out he's also been in on the whole thing the whole time.
Whatever it is you're gonna say, I don't want to hear it. Grover?
Grover? I'm also definitely not panicking. I feel very good about how we're doing so far.
Grover!
What?
Grover, why is there half a goat in your pants?
You didn't tell him about me?
You're early. We'll continue this in the car.
You know, something about this new show is like they try to fit so much into these first 2 episodes at least, so they just kind of like breeze past everything. Like Percy just found out his lifelong best friend is half goat and he has like a 0 reaction to this. But all the same, they hop in the car and drive to what we find out later is a place called Camp Half-Blood. And the whole time, Grover just exposits the crapping heck out of Percy.
If I hadn't gotten you kicked out of school, you'd have never survived the night. Usually I can sense danger coming a mile away, but this time, the mist. It's the veil that hides the magical world from the human world. Something powerful is at work here. The sooner we get you to camp, the better off you. You told him about camp, right?
And like the whole car ride, Percy is like I was when I asked Kelsey her thoughts on the Court of Thorns and Roses series. Anyway, so as you all probably know, on the way there, they get attacked by a Minotaur who destroys the car and kills Percy's mom right in front of them. First movie, Percy barely watching his mom
All of it was real?
And in this show too, like I said earlier, they set the plot point so fast that no character has any emotional reaction to anything. This kid's like 12, right? And he just watched his mom die via Minotaur. And then he wakes up in camp and he's like, whoa, dude, I'm like Batman now. But all the same, so Percy wakes up in camp and finds out that not only is Grover a satyr, but his school teacher's actually a centaur.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube. And exclusive access to all things VIP.
Not only is Grover a satyr, but his school teacher's actually a centaur named Chiron.
This is a sacred valley, Percy. Great care was taken to bring you here. And great sacrifice. I have something to show you.
I found this cool picture of a baby cat playing with yarn, and it says, one step at a time is still progress, so follow your dreams, Percy. Now actually shows them 10 Half-Bloods' totally original wizarding houses, wink wink TM, where all the kids get put into houses based on who their godparent is.
12 cabins with 12 Olympian gods. Each cabin is home to the children that God has claimed.
Okay, so I know I said this back in my Sea of Monsters video, but like, I still just think it's so funny that the entire premise of the Percy Jackson franchise is that these gods just like cannot stop smashing. Like, I mean, each one of these houses has, what, 30 kids in it? All of them roughly at similar ages. So all these Greek gods got together and just had the most insane spring break of all time. Also, like, Percy finds out he's a special little boy, right? But actually, there's like 400 other kids who are exactly the same as him, so. And like, earlier when Percy's mom talks about how she was so completely in love with Percy's dad, he was so amazing. But like, every Greek god has 50 Percy's moms in their phone, all under the name of this game, like, men are all the same. But then so Percy goes into the hermit's house because that's the house of many kids, but also kids who have not been claimed by the god yet. And here, he meets Luke.
Do it tomorrow. What happened on the hill? I said, I'm really sorry. When you're going through. I'm with you.
Now, Luke here pretty much only exists to further explain every tiny detail of everything. The first episode of the show is everyone just lord dumping on Percy constantly.
We all have tense, recurring nightmares. It's normal. Hermes is my father. That doesn't matter. We're all the same. Demigods always fought for glory. They used to call it Plato. It's like this stuff that attaches itself to your name, makes it bigger.
But one person who is not a fan of Percy is this girl, Clarice. So much so that she and her friends literally try to like give him a swirly in a summer camp toilet of all things. But then of course Percy yet again has this like 11 from Stranger Things moment where he blasts them with a camp toilet water. And so of course then they run away. But that's when another mysterious someone shows up out of nowhere.
I can explain.
No, you can't.
Okay.
I'm Annabelle.
Are you stalking me, Annabeth?
Yes.
Well, I admire the honesty, Annabeth.
Well, I've been waiting to see if something like this would happen. So I know if you can help me.
If you do what?
Win capture the flag.
I thought that was going somewhere way more cool. And so then, of course, we get to the capture the flag part, which is just like a simulated Spartan war exercise or something.
Any magical items you may possess are permitted as well. Every camper who is not injured has to play.
Let her in.
And so ultimately, Percy's team ends up winning because he acts as bait for Clarice and her goon squad, while the other kids get the flag. Well, to be fair, Percy just kind of Mary Sues them all right into the ground. But that's when we find out who his dad really is. Poseidon downloaded one of those mouse cursor custom packs. Remember those? You could make it look like a gauntlet or a sword or Sailor Moon's moon rod. Wow, this was totally worth the 4 hours it took to figure out how to install this. But yeah, so it turns out Percy's dad is Poseidon, and Percy himself is a forbidden child because Poseidon, Zeus, and Hades are forbidden from having kids. So Percy's not like a whole lot of something going on. Now, because Percy is actually the special little boy, it turns out he's the only one who can do a thing that needs the thing to be doing things.
For months now, Zeus and Poseidon have been locked in a dispute over the master ball, and it has been stolen. Your help. An ultimatum has been given to him by Zeus that if he doesn't return the ball by the summer solstice in 1 week, there will be war.
There's 1 week left? This has been going on for months? You waited until now to do this? Well, thanks for nothing, guys. So everyone at camp thinks that Hades must have stolen the bolt. And Percy, being the secret son of Poseidon, Zeus thinks that he probably stole it. So his quest is to go down to the underworld and get the bolt back from Hades. And of course, since his mom died, like, she must also be down there too, right? So it sure would be awful swell if Percy could bring her back with him, you know what I mean?
It looks like she died, but it only looked that way.
Grover.
Your mother was stolen. By Hades. That's where they want you to go to, isn't it? If you can find her there, I think you can bring her back.
That's pretty much the show. So I've never read the books, okay? But it definitely feels like they're trying to be a lot more in line with the original source material. So much so that, like, maybe things have swung a little too far back the other way, because it feels to me like they're kind of trying to cram as much of the books as possible into the show. There's like so much happens that we get like maybe 3 seconds to think about it, and then we're on to the next, you know, whatever's happening. But that being said, the first episode, it's enough to know at the very least that this show is way better than the movies. Percy actually is how his character's supposed to be. Grover's actually funny.
You didn't tell him about me?
You're early.
So the important thing is not to panic.
We'll continue this in the car. Let's go.
The CG looks quite good, although that's not really fast, to be honest. But still, I'm sure longtime fans of the books are going to find a lot to like in the show. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please watch another one. That's how the algorithm works. So click on this one that's being recommended to you right now, right here on the screen. It actually helps a lot if you do that, because that's how YouTube knows that my video is really worth caring about. Also, if you have any movies or TV shows you'd like to recommend, send me an email at alexmyerscontact@gmail.com, and I'll put them on my absurdly long list of movies that I need to get to at some point. Anyway, hope I made your day a little bit better, and I'll see you all next time.
My kids can't hide anything from me. I'm home. Especially when they've been using toilet paper that...
You know, it's kind of sad, but also kind of funny, I guess, that at the end of almost every year now, I get to play my new favorite game. Which movies are getting a sequel and/or prequel that no one asked for? That Mufasa movie's coming out in December. Oh boy, I can't wait to see how much of the original story they're gonna retcon with this one. But then we have Moana, which is like even more, because not only is Moana getting a sequel movie, but also getting a live-action version. You know, because it's such an ancient classic Disney movie in desperate need of an update. But okay, so in 2016, Disney comes out with Moana. This was right on the heels of Big Hero 6, which came out in 2014, so they were just really swinging for the fences around this time. I mean, Zootopia came out the same year as Moana. Man, remember back when Disney was making new stuff and it was all really good? We did not know that we were living in the good old days, I'll tell you that. But all that said, with Moana 2 coming out on the 27th of this month, I figured, hey, why not go back and check out the original movie? So come along, kids, let's take a look. But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Raycon. You know what's a great way to stave off the impending sense of existential dread and ever-encroaching mortality? Music, probably. And you know what goes good with music? Raycons. You probably already heard this like a million times, but Raycons were already pretty great, but now they're even better. 32 hours of battery life, active noise canceling, quick charge, weatherproof, sweat resistant, and they start at just half the price of all the other guys. Real talk, no joke here, okay? I use my Raycons like all the time. When I'm doing push-ups, my dog's being kind of weird in the background, while I'm playing with my ferret, not a euphemism, or cleaning the house while also playing with my ferret. And this being November, you know they got some sweet Black Friday deals going on, okay? Even though Raycons are already way less expensive than all the other earbuds, they're giving you up to 30% off site-wide. Go to buyraycon.com/Myers and get up to 30% off. And like I said, not just on the earbuds, but on the entire store. You already got some Raycons? Well, they come in all these different colors, you know what I mean? So use my link, buy like 7 of them, that'd be pretty cool. You don't have Raycons yet? No better time than right now. Buyraycon.com/Myers, get 30% off. Okay, back to the show. So a large part of this movie is introducing us all to Polynesian culture, like their version of a creation story, that kind of thing.
There was only ocean until the mother island emerged. Fiti. Her heart held the greatest power ever known. It could create life itself.
Oh, so this is all your fault, huh? Thanks for nothing, Tafiti. I was perfectly happy being a little protozoa at the bottom of the ocean, but now, thanks to you, here I am paying taxes and counting how many tums I have left before I gotta go buy some more. So the story goes that after creating the world, Tafiti just like went to sleep, which hey, I totally get it, because like, you know, it's like when you're like, I'm gonna be good today and cook dinner for myself at home. And then it takes 2 hours, and then you got like 8 different things you gotta wash now. Oh yeah, this was totally worth it. What if I just leave these all in the sink and go to sleep and never think about it again? But anyway, after this, a bunch of lesser gods wanted the power of Tafiti's heart, which is like the magic stone thing that she has.
One day, the most daring of them all voyaged across the vast ocean to take it. A shapeshifter who could change form with the power of his magical fish hook. Maui.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, wow! But then another god called Nock showed up and fought Maui for the heart. Long story short, it gets lost in the ocean forever.
1,000 years later, Tekka and the demons of the deep still hunt for the heart by the bloodthirsty jaws of inescapable death.
You know, okay, I've always found it really hilarious how there used to be, and still kind of is, I guess, this idea where it's like something is like too scary, too shocking, or too dirty for girls, right? But then like on their own, girls will gravitate toward the most horrifyingly deflating things you've ever seen in your life. But okay, in case you couldn't tell, this is Moana, and she's next in line to be chief of the whole island. However, everything and everyone on the island is telling her that their whole shit is that no one leaves, no one goes anywhere, nothing. The island just gives them everything they need.
A place of chiefs. There will come a time when you will stand on this big place alone on this mountain, like I did, like my father. When you had your stone, you will raise this whole island high.
But shocking plot twist, Moana kind of sort of wants to see what's out there, like in the ocean, you know? I mean, come on, she's 16 now, okay? Gosh, Dad, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends at Walmart now. And also the island is like dying or whatever, you know, it's always something, right? I mean, laundry, dishes, the encroaching death of everything and everyone you love, heartburn from drinking water all the time.
Our traps in the east lagoon, they're pulling up less and less fish.
No one goes beyond the reef.
I know, but if there are no fish in the lagoon,
Juana.
and in the whole ocean,
We have one rule.
an old rule when there were fish.
Everything should stay just how it is, but that way isn't working anymore. Oh yeah, well, change is scary and I have an attitude problem. Well, guess what, Dad? So do I. And so, feeling the rush of rebellion, Moana sings the obligatory I Wanna Do What They Do song, which technically is basically just Pink Floyd love mixed with Parents Just Don't Understand from Will Smith. And then there's also this kid. But so she commandeers a boat and heads off to do something. Not a single granola bar, not a Tupperware full of trail mix, nothing. But then it just goes like real bad and she crashes the boat right back where she started.
Whatever just happened, blame it on the pig.
So after surviving all this somehow, later on she's hanging out with her grandma and she's like, parents suck. And then her grandma's like, guess how many jars full of toenails I have in my basement right now.
When I die.
Okay, so we're at the film festival, Middle Park City. Doors open. Hey, Sapphire Reserve.
When I die, I'm going to come back as one of these. Or I chose the wrong technique.
Why are you acting weird?
I'm the village crazy lady. That's my job.
What ends up happening here is her grandma takes her to this ancient sealed-off cave that shows that Moana's people used to be voyagers who sailed across the ocean all the time. What's that? Your parents are big fat liars? Wow, shocking. Oh, also, side note, she's been chosen by the ocean to, like, save the world or whatever. You know, as you do.
The ocean chose me.
I'm sorry, can we talk about how absurdly OP Moana is? Like, she's part of the highest aristocracy on the island. She's been preordained by a sentient ocean. And she's, like, genealogically predisposed to do the things she wants to do. Convenient. I'm not sure how inspiring this would be to, like, little girls watching this movie, you know? It's like, wow, she's just like me. I always find stories like this to be kind of weird because, like, what exactly is she overcoming? Like, she's the most important person on the island already, and then the literal earth itself is bending over backwards to get her to do the thing that she's supposed to do. This is like when a really tall person plays basketball, you know? Like literally what else was Shaq gonna do in his life? Anyway, so her grandma tells her about how if she wants to save the island, she needs to find Mal, demigod of playing the same character in every single movie.
Our ancestors believed Maui lies there, at the bottom of his foot. Follow it, and you will find it.
Why would it choose me? I don't even know how to make it past the grade.
Moana, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed 16-year-old that she is, needs to go take the heart of Tefiti to the corpse of Tefiti and have Maui put it back in the sand. And then her grandma's like, Moana, I'm dying, go do the thing. And Moana's like, yeah, okay, bye. And sets off to do all of everything I just said. who is probably the best character of the whole movie, by the way. No question. Now, eventually, the weather gets kind of crazy, and Moana, who luckily put on all of her waterproof makeup that day, crash lands on this random island where she does indeed run into Maui himself.
Maui, shapeshifter, demigod of the wind and sea, I'm here to...
Of course. Yes. Maui always has time for his fans.
So like a while ago I made a video about Inside Out, the first one, the good one. And in that video I said this: Inside Out is probably Pixar's last great movie. Turning Red is very good. It's very good, okay? But I just don't think it has the same Pixar magic that like WALL-E, Monsters Inc. or Inside Out have. Actually, Coco might be up there too. I don't remember. I have to watch it again. But crazy plot twist. Turns out I don't think I ever actually saw Coco. Like, I think in my head I was confusing it with like Luca and Encanto or something. But anyway, so Coco came out in 2017 and was yet another home run for Pixar. Critics loved it, audiences loved it, it was the biggest thing of all time. Now, even though I've done Beetlejuice, and Hotel Transylvania, I wanted one more kind of sort of like Halloween-themed video for the year. Now, of course, to be fair, Coco is not Halloween-themed. It's about Dia de los Muertos. But that holiday is November 1st, so close enough. So come along, kids, let's take a look. The movie starts out with some backstory about the family of our main character, Miguel.
Sometimes I think I'm cursed. Because of something that happened before I was even born. See, a long time ago, there was this family. The papa, he was a musician.
Okay, well, there's your first mistake. Okay. The only thing worse than dating a musician is dating a YouTuber, probably. Honey, the algorithm's at it again, I tell you what. Yeah, I'm sure it is, honey.
But he also had a dream to play for the world. And one day, he left with his guitar and never returned.
My dad also left to follow his dreams, except his dream was going to 7-Eleven to buy cigarettes. Anyway, so because the dad left, his wife was all by herself to raise her daughter. Hold on. My dude, you left this? Are you stupid? So the wife took care of herself and her daughter by making shoes, and then she taught her daughter how to make shoes. And long story short, now the Rivera family are known as the best shoemakers in town.
You see, that woman was my great-great-grandmother, Mama Imelda. She died way before I was born. But my family still tells her story every year on Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. And her little girl, she's my great-grandmother, Mama Coco.
You know, there's a good handful of kids I went to high school with who got like really into drinking, and then they really got into drinking in college, and now here we all are in our mid-30s, and they kind of look a lot like this. Anyway, so this is Mama Coco, Miguel's great-grandmother, but she has dementia, and she's about 400 years old, so she kind of just sits there while Miguel tells her all kinds of random nonsense.
How are you, Julio? Actually, my name is Miguel. Mama Coco has trouble remembering things, but it's good to talk to her anyway. So I tell her pretty much everything. I used to run like this, but now I run like this. It's just way faster.
Well, like really though, you know, like you ever try talking to kids? I got nieces and nephews, you know, and like they're all just the worst storytellers of all time. Literally every conversation is just.
Have you ever had a dream that you want?
But okay, so something else really important to know about this family is that because the great-great-grandfather left to pursue music of all things, the wife he left and all their further descendants have sworn off music forever. No music allowed, no sir, no ma'am. Probably the only Mexican family in history who has ever said that.
No music. No music. I think we're the only family in Mexico who hates music. And my family's fine with that. But me? Be back by lunch, Miko. Love you, Mama.
Wait. Hold on, Miguel. That's your mom? Your dad pulled a Pixar 10 by making shoes? The heck have I been doing this whole time? Anyway, so shocking plot twist. Miguel loves music. Like loves music, okay? He's become obsessed with the music and stardom of this guy, Ernesto de la Cruz, a.k.a.
El Mentón.
Ernesto de la Cruz, the greatest musician of all time.
No, but like seriously though, this dude's butt chin is more cheeked up than a thumb from Spy Kids.
He started out a total nobody from Santa Cecilia, like me. He started movies. He had the coolest guitar. He could fly.
I'm sorry, but like, there's just something so funny about this 8-year-old kid in 2017 who's like obsessed with this actor, musician guy from the 1930s. Like, imagine a 10-year-old kid in 2024 just being like really into Don Knotts, you know what I mean? Honey, are you sure you don't want a cell phone? You can watch TikToks all day. Get out of my room, Mom! The Andy Griffith Show's on again. But yeah, so Miguel wants to be a singer, guitar player, dude guy, just like his idol, Ernesto. But remember, his family hates music. I'm sure you can probably see where this movie's going.
Until 1942. crushed by a giant bell. Sometimes I look at De La Cruz and I get this feeling like we're connected somehow.
Wait a minute, your great-great-granddad left to be a musician, and here's some guy who's from your hometown who went on to become a famous musician? Nah, this is probably just a red herring. You can't fool me, Pixar. So that night is Dia de los Muertos, and there's a big talent show that Miguel really wants to be in. He's even made his own guitar, okay guys? Been practicing Wonderwall for like weeks now, but then his grandma finds out.
That man was Ernesto de la Cruz, the greatest musician of all time.
We've never known anything about this man. But whoever he was, he still abandoned his family.
You want to end up like that man? Forgotten? Left off your family's ofrenda?
I don't care if I'm on some stupid ofrenda.
So in case you don't know, an ofrenda is this big table thing for Dia de los Muertos that they put their ancestors' pictures on so the spirits can like cross over on that night, you know? And they put these like flower petals on the ground to help guide them, which is, but like, you know there's gotta be at least one uncle somewhere who's like, yeah, I know how to get around, okay, I used to live here. But more importantly, you still got my box of Hustler magazines upstairs? But okay, anyway.
No!
Mama!
No guitar, no music.
You know, the same kind of thing used to happen to me in school when like teachers would like rip up and throw away like all the little drawings I was doing in class. Well, look how that all turned out, Mrs. Anderson. Now, as you can probably imagine, Miguel's having some feelings about all this and lets his family know what's what.
I don't want to be in this family.
Nah, I'm with you, Miguel. One time when I was like 10, my mom told me to mow the lawn, so I missed like half of Toonami that day. Oh, this is the final straw. I'm moving away forever. Don't even try and stop it. So Miguel runs away and tries to steal Ernesto's guitar that's sitting up in like his mausoleum grave thing because he still really wants to play in that talent show. And besides, he's just following the sage advice of Ernesto himself.
Great-great-grandfather? What am I supposed to do?
Mom's spaghetti, but that's when something a little weird happens.
All right, who's in there?
I'm sorry, it's not what it is like. De La Cruz is like...
That's right, turns out somehow mysterious magic. Miguel's been transported to the land of the dead, a skeleton world. Well, actually, if you think about it, we're already in the skeleton world. Whoa, dude. But now that Miguel is here, we get to see what this world is really like.
Yes, it is I, Frida Kahlo.
Oh, shit. Looks like no one put up your photo. Frida.
Okay, when I said I was Frida just now, that was a lie.
You don't say. Anyway, so just to summarize here, Miguel ends up running into his dead relatives, who are really surprised to see him there, if you can imagine that. And they're also having their own problem, because Miguel's great-great-grandmother, Imelda, this lady, for some reason she can't cross over.
But none of this explains why I wouldn't cross over. You took my photo off the ofrenda? It was an accident. Oh, we sent it back. Well...
Now, turns out sending Miguel back is actually pretty simple. All they have to do is just give him their blessing, and he can just go back. Wham, blam, blibba, movie's over, right, guys?
I give you my blessing to go home, to put my photo back on the ofrenda, and to never play music again.
What? Mariachi Plaza, here I come.
Yeah, so his family only wants to send him back if he promises to never play music ever again, which obviously he is not very cool with. However, there is one family member of Miguel's that would totally understand his love of music.
Listen to your mama, Imelda.
She's just looking out for you.
Reasonable. Con permiso, I need to visit the restroom.
Should we tell him there are no restrooms in the land of the dead?
Now, while this is all going on, also this police station, there's this guy named Hector. Remember this guy? We saw him earlier. He's in trouble because he tried to break through the gate and desperately brute force his way into the world of the living. Which, like, I don't know why, though, because, I mean, have you met living people? I mean, you ever worked a customer service job? Like, you ever just want to John Wick everybody? But whatever. Anyway, Miguel overhears him talking to a policeman about he totally definitely knows Ernesto de la Cruz, okay? So you should, like, do what he says. Kind of in the same way as how, like, in high school, like, I totally knew my Canadian girlfriend wanted to come to prom, but, like, her mom got kidnapped by ninjas, so she's busy again this year, too, okay? okay? But then Miguel's like,
Hey, you really know De La Cruz?
Who wants to?
you're alive!
Yeah, I'm alive. And if I want to get back to the land of the living, I need De La Cruz's blessing.
That's weirdly specific.
He's my great-great-grandfather.
Is your what?
And so this sets in motion the rest of the movie where Miguel is tagging along with Hector because Hector maybe sort of kind of knows a guy who knows a guy who spoke to Ernesto once like 6 years ago. This leads to Miguel going on a bunch of little adventures and he learns a bunch of stuff about how this world works.
Wait, what happened?
He's been forgotten.
Yep, there's that signature Pixar special sauce where they make the cutest, most colorful movie of all time and then they just throw in one of these. Man, what a wackadoo, silly skeleton world full of music and dancing and hot babes. And one day everyone in the world will forget about you, and then when they do, your soul will disappear forever. Anyway, tamales. So long story short, Miguel and Hector enter this world's version of the talent show from earlier, and they end up making friends with this group of people who win the competition and help them to sneak into the party to meet Ernesto.
Music is my language.
America's best tire warranty. It's included with every set of tires, only at Les Schwab.
You are that boy, the one who came from the land of the living.
Okay, so I don't mean to nitpick here. Now, who am I kidding? I totally do. But like, why is he rushing to save Miguel if they think he's a skeleton like them? You know, like we've seen these people doing this kind of stuff. So like, is falling in water just like one step too far?
What about me?
You're all anyone has been talking about. Why have you come here?
I'm Miguel. Your great-great-grandson.
Well, looks like it's time once again for another exciting episode of
Allegedly Golden, watching a kid's show.
So like, I was gonna do this whole intro about how there's never been a more mediocre CG movie franchise that ruined the entire world like Despicable Me, but then I remembered that we all survived Shrek. For those of you who are ancient like me, do you remember how huge Shrek was? The franchise, not the guy. We had Shrek Ketchup, okay? The unfunniest guys in school who always had like 3 dance team girls fighting over them for some reason. Their entire personality was quoting Shrek and Napoleon Dynamite. And Despicable Me was basically that, but more successful, and now there's another one coming out? There's been 6 of these movies if you count the Minion spin-offs, okay? I mean, at least Shrek knew when to call it quits. I mean, there's only been 6. Oh, all right, never mind. Anyway, Despicable Me, the 2010 Illumination movie that set the meme world on fire. I tell you what, your mom's Facebook feed has never been the same again. Music by Hans Zimmer? What the heck was this movie? This dude probably worked on Despicable Me and Inception at the same time. Anyway, so continuing my quest through every 2000s movie that appeals to me in any way at all, I figured it was time to absolutely demolish the few brain cells I have left. Check out Despicable Me. So, as if you didn't already know, the main character of our story is this guy, Group. So hilarious to me about Gru living in a planned suburban neighborhood, you know? Just the most soul-sucking place you could ever live. And then Gru has to fight the evilest supervillain of all, the head of the HOA. I peaked in high school, but now my wife won't let me see the kids anymore, so I take it out on you by complaining about your garbage cans every other week. Anyway, so this is Gru, the local supervillain. The setup of the world here is that there's a bunch of villains out there doing villain stuff. No superheroes though, just villains. And all of them are in competition with each other to see who can do the worst evil stuff. Okay, so here's what we do. We make girls' clothes so thin they have to buy like 7 layers at a time, right? And then we make up a bunch of stuff about how all the clothes they just bought are gonna go out of fashion like 4 months from now. They have to buy all new ones or else they're gonna look stupid. However, one day, someone steals the entire Egyptian pyramid.
Tonight, as it was discovered that the Great Pyramid of Giza had been stolen and replaced by a giant inflatable replica. There is panic throughout the globe as countries and citizens try to protect their beloved landmark. Which of the world's villains is responsible for this heinous crime? And where will he strike next?
So this villain, whoever it is, has just made all the other villains look real dumb, you know what I mean? So obviously Gru's not gonna stand for any of this nonsense. So he assembles his minions and has to come up with some kind of master plan to get back on top of the game, even though he never was anyway, but whatever.
You guys have probably heard about this other villain who stole the pyramids. Apparently, it's a big deal. Am I upset? A little, but we we have had a pretty good year ourselves. You guys are all right in my book. No raises.
Yeah, I can't give you any raises because I just bought a new yacht, you know how it is. But to show how much I care about you, here's the cheapest pizza I could find. Please don't unionize. So as we come to find out later, Gru's plan is that he's gonna steal the moon because it's bigger than a pyramid, in case you didn't know. And then that will make him the greatest villain of all time, right next to whoever decided that young Sheldon needed 7 seasons. And one big reason he cares so much about this, as we come to find out, is because of his mom.
Mom, someday I'm going to go to the moon. Oh, I'm afraid you're too late, son. NASA isn't sending the monkeys anymore.
Look, Mom, I made a prototype of the rocket out of macaroni.
So like his motivation for everything he does is because he wants his mom to be proud of him or something. So he heads on over to the Bank of Evil, formerly Lehman Brothers. This movie coming out in 2010 and having this, like, it's not even that funny, but it just cracked me up. Anyway, so he goes into the bank, and while he's waiting, he meets this other incredibly annoying villain guy, Vector.
Vector! That's me, because I'm committing crimes with both direction and magnitude! Oh yeah!
Yeah, maybe you could just, like, never do that again. But you know, quick aside here, okay? Like, all the characters in this movie look like how body dysmorphia makes you think you look, you know what I mean? Like, the way Kelsey and our friends talk about themselves sometimes, it's like they literally think they're built like Gru or Vector or freaking Mike Wazowski, as if this isn't just the hottest physique anyone could ever have. Like, seriously, girls will look like this, and then they'll be like, okay, seriously, why do I literally look like a Minions character? Although, to be fair, Elon Musk does look exactly like this dude, so there is that. Anyway, so Gru goes in to talk to the bank guy to try and get a loan so he can build something to allow him to steal the moon. But to do this, Gru needs a shrink ray, which, funny story, he does not have at the moment. Look.
Imagine never paying for groceries again. From now to March 31st, every time you shop and save using the Grocery Outlet app, you get a chance to win free groceries for life. You can see all the incredible deals we have in stock.
Look, Gru, the point is, there are a lot of new villains out there. Younger than you, hungrier than you, younger than you. Like that young fellow out there named Vector. He just stole a pyramid.
Wait, hold on a second. This guy? This dude? This guy's the greatest villain of all time? This is just that weird kid at school who went on to study STEM in college because he was like, you all make fun of me now, but just you wait till the day you're washing my car, which would be bad because blue-collar jobs are the worst thing you could ever do, apparently. So the bank guy basically says he'll talk to Gru again about a loan and all that if he can get the shrink ray. So he goes to steal it from whoever he can. But then, what do you know, Vector shows up and steals it from him. Can you believe it?
So long, Gru! We can't let him get away! Up ahead! Fire! Fire now!
Minions are funny. This cop is broken. I'm still tired. Okay, so Vector now has the shrink ray, and Gru needs it to steal the moon, and also get a bank loan so he can do all this first. But Vector's lair is very inconspicuous and airtight. There's no way Gru's getting in there. Okay, so, flashing sideways, we meet the other 3 main characters of this movie. These 3 girls, Agnes, Margot, and Edith, who all kind of look like characters from Recess, you know what I mean? Anyway, these 3 girls are orphans who live in this, like, happy rainbow unicorn house for girls, or whatever it says.
Hi, Miss Patty. We're back.
Hello, girls.
You made them to adopt us while we were out?
No.
My pie.
You're never gonna get adopted, Ada. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
You know, when doing these videos like I've done over the years, like something I've noticed is how there's so many kids movies about how adults hate kids. Like, you know, Gru's mom, this lady, there's every Roald Dahl movie like Matilda, James Jones, or whatever. It's like, there's something profoundly dark about having kids movies be about how like adults hate you, and then kids are like, wow, this movie really speaks to me. Now, these 3 girls have been going around selling cookies to fund the orphanage, I assume. And at the beginning of the movie, they tried to sell some cookies to Gru, which went about as well as when anyone comes to my front door for literally any reason.
Cookies for sale.
Go away!
Yes, you are. I heard you.
No! This is a recording.
Hey there, Miss Thor, I noticed your roof is looking a little... No, it's not. I had it replaced a year ago. Hey, Thor, talk to your neighbors about changing their pest control company. I don't know my neighbors. I don't care what they do. Peer pressure doesn't work on me. Hey there, Thor, have you heard of a man named Joseph Smith? And so when thinking about how to get into Vector's lair, Gru sees these girls selling him cookies, and then he figures he can use them to get in and steal the shrink ray somehow. And of course that's great for them because they want to be adopted, obviously.
Please watch over us, and bless that we'll have a good night's sleep. And bless that while we're sleeping, no bugs will crawl into our ears and lay eggs in our rooms.
Oh, you're one of these kids. Okay, yeah, the beanie really should have been my first one.
Please bless that someone will adopt us, so that the mommy and daddy will be nice. And have a pet unicorn.
Anyway, so like I said, Gru realizes he can use these girls for his master plan, so he heads on over to the orphanage to adopt them, which is the thing you can just do.
So you have made a list of some of your personal achievements. Thank you for that.
Yeah, okay, as if you're not spending every weekend reading the entire Taken by the T-Rex extended universe. Taken by the T-Rex, ravished by the Triceratops. That time I got drunk and yeeted a leopard and a werewolf. 16% off!
You see, you have been given the Medal of Honor and a knighthood.
Dude, every soccer mom on Facebook is just losing their minds right now. I'm hiding from exercise. I'm in the fitness protection program. But yeah, so after talking for about 7 minutes, this lady lets this dude walk out with 3 little girls. You ever think about how crazy this whole orphanage thing was? Like Annie or Ann with an E or whatever. It's like, hey there, how's it going? Monica McGillicuddy here. I would like one 10-year-old girl, please. Ah, yes, good sir, here you are. I will ask no further questions. And so now Gru is the proud father of these 3 little boopers.
Somebody broke that.
Okay. Clearly we need to set some rules. Rule number 1. You will not touch anything.
What about the floor?
Yes, you may touch the floor.
What about the air?
You know, there's nothing worse than kids like this, okay? And trust me, I know what they do about that thing. I mean, I was this kid till I was like 27.
You will not cry, or whine, or laugh, or sneeze, or bark, or bark. No annoying sounds. Right?
Does this count as annoying?
Why is this girl the cutest thing ever? How did the minions get to be the most popular? They're easily the worst part of the group. Respect your parents. They pass school without being. I'm sorry. That's it. I'm out. I'm done. I can't do this. Okay, so long story short, Gru and all his little dudes go out. Girls go deliver them to Vector. Cookies will help them sneak in and steal the shrink ray. So, but along the way, Gru gets wrapped up in these little adventures that the girls want to do, like going to the attacking a giant unicorn. Or going with them to their dance recital practice. Whatever it is.
What is it?
Get to the dance recital. I'm coming, right?
Of course.
Pinky promise?
Oh, yes. My pinky promise.
And of course when he puts them to bed with those sweet friggin' rocket bomb beds? Man, I want a bed like this. You kidding me? This would fix me so fast.
Bye. And sweet dreams.
Just so you know, you're never gonna be my dad.
Uh-oh, nothing scarier than a 10-year-old hitting her emo phase. You'll never be my dad. Now hurry up and take me to Hot Topic so I can get more arm warmers and hang out with my boyfriend Steve. He's so cool, he's in 7th grade. Anyway, so he puts them all to bed and they beg him to read their favorite bedtime story, Kidnapped by One Direction.
3 little kittens love to play. They had fun in the sun all day. Then their mother came out and said, time for kittens to go to bed. Wow, this is garbage.
This guy just distilled my whole job into one sentence. But okay, so finally, it's time to steal the shrink ray, which they actually managed to do, despite some hilarious shenanigans. And then Gru can get the rest of the money he needs to steal the moon. Wham bam, bibbidi bow. All of his mommy issues are solved.
Well done, Gru. Rather impressive.
Now, the rest of the plan is simple. I fly to the moon. I shrink the moon. I grab the moon. I sit on the toilet. What?
Oh, that's where the meme format comes from. I see it all the time. But because of all these silly little this Big Boss Man has had it with Gru and he's not gonna give him any more money for anything ever again. Just like his mom always says, he's a no good, good for nothing, making Jesus cry with your internet search history. Why would you even look for Ninja Turtles Rule 34, Alex? Who does that? Who doesn't need any of that stupid bank money, okay? He can do it all by himself. So he puts all the minions to work on his master plan.
Panera's new ciabatta dippers, a duo built for dipping, here for a limited time.
Well, a couple weeks ago, I decided I was finally desperate enough to make a video about Despicable Me. You know, I mean, minions are everywhere at this point, and I just kind of wanted to see where the scourge on humanity came from. At the end of that video, I said I would do the rest of the movies if the video did. So, Despicable Me, the 2013 follow-up to the movie that would ruin your mom's Facebook feed forever. Not a single classroom was safe, I tell you. As soon as your 60-something-year-old Spanish teacher was putting them up like, oh, I just think they're so cute. That was it. We were done as a species. Anyway, let's take a walk and check in with Gru and friends. But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Raycon. Now, I know you've heard me and everyone else talk about Raycon everyday earbuds, right? Comfortable earbuds, great sound quality, half the price of all the other guys. I know you've heard it like 1,000 times. But the everyday earbuds are even better now. Check this out. Quick charge. Every 10 minutes of charge time is about 90 minutes of usage time. And these things last like 32 hours, so you're not going to be charging them very often anyway. Multi-point connectivity. You can pair these with 2 devices at the same time. So you listen to your podcast while you're feeding off the cat, vacuuming the floor, whatever. And then when you're done, you hop on your Nintendo Switch and you're ready to go instantly. Active noise cancellation. They have even better protection from weather, sweat, that kind of thing. True story here. I accidentally left my Raycon earbuds themselves in my pocket when I washed my shorts later that day, right? And I was like, wow, good thing these things don't cost very much anyway. But they still work just fine. Now, obviously, I would not recommend doing this, okay? But I'm just gonna say, you're getting way more out of these guys than you would get from ones that cost like 2 or 3 times the money. So, if you're looking for high quality, very affordable earbuds, or even if you already have a pair of the original everyday earbuds, you gotta try the new ones out. Click my link down below or just go to buyraycon.com/Myers and you'll get 15% off your Raycon purchase plus free shipping. Okay, back to the show. So, the movie starts out with Agnes's birthday party. I assume she's turning like 3.5 or something.
This is the best party ever!
Oh yeah, also Edith is really into ninjas. You know, some girls go for Barbies and My Little Pony, and other girls go for Chuck Taylors and ninjas and thirst tweeting over girls who look like this, but then they only date guys who look like Vegas and Olive Garden. And of course, eventually they move on to Chapel Road and Girl in Red and still ninjas, because nobody quits ninjas, okay? But anyway, so yeah, believe you me, this party is going places.
Sounded like the twinkling sounds of magical fairy dust. This is Fairy Princess! She's coming! Look!
It's a grown man, but he looks like the magic fairy princess with the grumpy face.
I tell you though, this would have been peak comedy on Disney Channel back in like 2005. Oh boy. So the magic fairy princess that was supposed to come to the party had to cancel. Thus, Grizinkovic.
It is I, Gru Zinkelbell, the most magical fairy princess of all. I am here to wish Princess
I'm sorry, just whoever designed this character deserves did everything good in their life. Okay, Agnes is so freaking cute, I would die for you, Agnes.
How come you're so fat?
Because my house is made of candy, and sometimes I eat instead of facing my problems.
But yeah, so the point of all this, as you can see, is that Gru has basically turned his entire life around. Like back in the first movie, he wanted to be the greatest villain of all time and steal the moon, and he didn't care about nobody, nothing, you know what I mean? But since he adopted Agnes, Margot, and Edith, he's more interested in being the cool, fun dad. And of course, the moms of the neighborhood are definitely taking notice, because I mean, hey, a dad doing the bare minimum? A commodity, I tell you what.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
Hey there, Gru, Mr. Life of the Party.
Hello, Jillian.
So, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, but my friend Natalie is recently single.
Oh no, not an ugly ugly girl. Oh, man. I mean, sure, Gru looks like this and has eyebrows like sultry caterpillars and a nose that could mine for diamonds. But an ugly girl? I mean, come on. So the B story of this movie, which gets introduced first for some reason, is that Gru has been single for like forever, you know? And now that he's the cool new single dad in the suburban planned community for disillusioned millennials, this lady's trying to set him up with like literally everyone she knows.
No, Chills. It's not happening. Seriously, I'm fine.
Okay, fine, forget that. How about my cousin Linda? Oh, I know someone whose husband just died.
I'm sorry, I did not see you there.
Now, Gru is not at all interested in any of this nonsense because, would you believe, he's had some bad experience with girls in the past.
Hey, Lisa, I was wondering if you...
Gru touched Lisa! Gru touched Lisa! Ew! Lisa's got cooties!
And it was that moment something strange awoke inside young Gru, and he realized his true calling in life was to start a podcast. Okay, so after the party, Gru is out front doing whatever he does. Then the movie finally gets started when this oddly attractive woman lady shows up.
Well, I did what, yes?
Hi.
Oh, sorry. I think
So this is Lucy, and she works for some organization called the AVL, the Anti-Villain League. And her mission at the moment is to kidnap Gru for some reason, which she does very elegantly. And then she drives all around town with Gru in the trunk with the finesse of how I drive when Kelsey and I play Fortnite. You know, Kelsey's like... Hey, let's quit! Hop in the car! You drive, I shoot! No time to explain! And of course, I have no idea what's going on, so I'm just kind of like... Jesus, take away. Jesus, stole my car. Anyway, so long story short, Lucy takes Gru to the AVL headquarters, and we finally get to learn what's really going on here.
I don't know who you people think you are, but
we are the Anti-Villain League. I am the league's director,
So glad we got more minions, am I right? Yeah, I just ended a big pile of money. So the story goes that someone stole an Arctic research lab, and with it they took the special mutagen serum that turns things evil and purple and stuff. Who knows what they're gonna do with it? But remember, Gru's a father, and he doesn't have time for any of these save the world shenanigans. Okay, he's gotta catch up on all the new episodes of Sophia the First, thank you very much.
I see where this is going with all the Mission Impossible stuff, but no. Father, and a legitimate businessman. I'm developing a line of delicious jams and jellies.
Jams and jellies?
Oh, attitude.
So he goes home and that's that. Movie's over. However, his assistant guy is not really feeling creatively, emotionally fulfilled anymore after pivoting from world domination to jam making. I'm sorry, I just don't feel that spark anymore. Maybe we were always meant to just be friends.
I miss being evil. Sinister plots, large-scale crimes is what I live for. I mean, don't you think there's more to our future than jelly? The thing is, I've had enough of employment elsewhere.
Yeah, this does something that YouTubers do, you know, where like they build a career doing literally anything, and then one day they're like, well, this is boring now. Guess it's about time I start making the worst music anyone's ever heard. So he quits and leaves. And this guy's really thinking about his own career a little bit, and he decides to go along with the AVL. You know, just one last ride. Save the world, do the spy stuff, put on sunglasses just so you can take them off again and be like, looks like justice is back on the menu. Okay, so Gru and Lucy set up this fake goods store at the mall because the AVL knows that someone who works in this mall has the serum. How do they know this? It doesn't matter. Who cares? Now, one of these suspected mall people is this guy.
Buenos dias, my friends. I am Eduardo Perez, owner of Salsa y Salsa restaurant across the mall. Now, open for breakfast. And you are?
Gru, and this is Lucy, and we are closed.
This is just gonna take a momento.
You know, this dude looks like if Big Ed and Bob the Tomato made sweet, passionate love like they do in my long-running fanfic series, 90 Days in the Prototype. Big Ed's the man is coagulating in his hair. Okay, Well, as I've been cleverly secretly foreshadowing this whole time, the fourth Despicable Me movie is finally out to rave reviews. So until I can make a video about that one, it's time once again to continue my quest through this movie series that turned out to actually be a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And hey, you know, I sure hope they keep the minions to a minimum this time and focus on the actual good parts of the movie. It was that moment Alex already felt his soul leaving his body. But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Surfshark VPN is an app that lets you change your IP address to be pretty much anywhere in the world you want. Now what this means for you is it protects you from websites and other users trying to snoop on what you're doing and where. Maybe your country has some like weird strict content censoring laws, or you just don't want people to potentially hack your accounts. Well, Surfshark VPN can help you with all of that, but it also has a lot of very practical day-to-day uses, like allowing you to watch the Netflix libraries from almost any country. Fun fact, Slovakia has by far the highest number of movies and TV shows you can watch, with over 7,400 titles compared to 5,800 in the US. And all you gotta do is just install Surfshark VPN and tell it to put your IP address in Slovakia, and there you go. You have access to an extra 1,600 titles. Or Japan and Taiwan have the biggest anime libraries on Netflix, so using Surfshark VPN, you can have access to all of that. Or in the reverse, if you're traveling away from your country, you want to stay up to date on a certain show you're watching or whatever, you can use Surfshark VPN to put your IP address in your home country, and then wham bam bam bam. There you go. It's quick and easy to sign up and install, and only costs $2.49 per month with a 2-year subscription. And so it barely costs you anything, really, and gives you access to all of this. And get this, you can use a single subscription on an unlimited number of devices. So let's say you and 4 other family members, you want to pitch in on one subscription. That means you get all of this for 50 cents a month. So click my link down below and use the promo code MYERS. You're going to get 4 extra months added to your subscription. So click my link and sign up today. Okay, back to the show. So right from the beginning, the movie already kind of tells you exactly what to expect.
Illumination!
Yeah. But anyway, first thing, we meet a brand new, extra annoying character for the series, Balthazar Brat.
Child prodigy and criminal mastermind bent on world domination. Brat was the biggest child actor of the 1980s, striking a chord with audiences.
You know, I lived in Japan for 12 years, and back when I taught English, I saw kids with bento boxes that would have like Hulk Hogan on it, and he's just saying fish. Or like, there's this one kid who had a pencil case that was just like 4 F words and a smiley face. This is true, by the way, I'm not making it up. Anyway, the story goes that Brat was a huge kid show star back in the 80s, but then his show got canceled, and ever since he's been holding on to that 80s-ness and vowed to spend the rest of his life trying to destroy Hollywood.
Hollywood rejected him, and Brat quickly plunged into a downward spiral, starting to actually believe he was the character he played on TV.
What are you looking at?
Leading us all to wonder, where is he now?
So, to enact his genius master plan, currently he's on his way to steal a diamond from a boat. But like, I don't think you gotta go through all this work just to take down Hollywood, okay? Because all you really gotta do is just make an obsessively long series of YouTube videos, and you just cut him right out with the knees. I tell you what, Bob Iger's just sitting in his Scrooge McDuck vault crying his eyes out this very moment. Anyway, so what do you know? The Anti-Villain League is hot on his trail, and Gru and Lucy are sent in to capture Brat and retrieve the diamond. Big Ed's Big Ed twitched in excitement, the mayonnaise coagulating in his hair. He knew what was coming. Their eyes met, right by the acorn squash. It was always the acorn squash. Are you blushing already, or are you just ripe for the picking? Big Ed's voice was quick, his breath shook. Bob the Tomato reached up to caress Ed's cheek. His loud hand suddenly overheard. I've been waiting for you deep in the sun-dried recesses of my heart, Bob whispered, hoping Larry the Cucumber wasn't listening. Forgive me, Larry, but I must be true to my heart. What do you want, Bob? Ed boomed from above. You know what I want, Ed. Bob shut him. His eyeballs clipping through the geometry of his face like they do sometimes. Say it, please, Ed. Hit me with a brick. And so forth. Now, right after meeting this guy, Gru starts to think that he knows him from somewhere. And turns out he looks exactly like this old supervillain back from like 20 years ago, El Macho. Except, El Macho's supposed to be dead.
He died in the most macho way possible, riding a shark with 250 pounds of dynamite strapped to his chest.
All that was ever a dream was a pile of singed chest hair.
You know what these movies remind me of is like classic 90s Cartoon Network. You know, stuff like Dexter's Lab or Powerpuff Girls or whatever. You know what I mean? Anyway, so Gru is convinced that this El Macho guy must be the villain they're looking for. So they break into a restaurant and scoop him away.
Hey, maybe you can find something with these X-ray goggles.
Kate and Ashley. But turns out it's not the evil serum at all. It's just his secret salsa recipe. Now, while this is all going on, Gru's kids are also hanging out at the mall because they're kids, and it's 2013, so malls haven't turned into this like barren wasteland yet. You know, like in 2024, where it's like, well, the mall's gone and the school's kicked us out, and if we stand around anywhere longer than like 8 seconds, we get in trouble for loitering. So, what are we supposed to do?
Hey, there you are. Oh, who's this?
Lucy, these are my girls. Margot, Edith, and Agnes. Girls, Lucy. Lucy, girls.
Hello.
Hi. Are you single?
Yeah, you single? I'm just asking for a friend who looks a lot like me, though, if you're into that.
Are you gonna marry Lucy?
No, she just works with me.
But you love her. You love her. You love her. You really love her.
Okay, stop. It is a song of lies.
Anyway, so while the kids are all hanging out at this mall, Margot sees a certain someone who's just about to rock her entire world. Just the coolest 10-year-old you'll ever see. What's up, ladies? Yeah, I run my own Roblox server, and yes, it is Family Guy themed. And of course, they end up talking and going on a date, as 10-year-olds do with them all, apparently.
Gross. Look, they're in love.
Oh, no. Do not say that there. No.
And my dream is to one day play video games for a living.
You're so complicated.
But you know, back in like 2013, this was such a hilariously absurd idea, right? But like in 2024, this is one of the only viable career options left at this point. Well, I was thinking about getting a degree in sociology or something, but now I think I'll just stream on Twitch for a few years and then use that to springboard my OnlyFans. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm either gonna play video games for a living or be one of those YouTubers that makes fun of kids' movies. But now, Gru, being a new dad and all that, like he knows exactly what's going on in the minds of young boys, all right? And he is not a fan of this whole dating nonsense, I tell you what, especially considering the fact that this kid is actually the son of this guy, which means that this guy got laid, which is weird, but whatever.
But there has been a new development, and I'm telling you, this is the guy. You need to arrest him immediately, and his deviously charming son. I'm pretty sure that the son is involved, too.
So, skipping ahead a little bit here, one day, Gru comes into his fake job to see that the ABL has arrested this other guy because they found an empty bottle of serum in his shop. Case closed, problem solved. That was easy.
All right, so what now?
Well, now you're getting back to your business. Jams and jellies. And it looks like Agent Wild will be transferring to our Australian branch.
Australia?
Now, throughout the movie, Gru and Lucy have been getting closer as quotation mark friends. Remember, she like tased him and threw his body in the trunk? Classic meet cute. And they were sneaking into places together, and then one day Gru does actually go on a date that's set up by the neighbor lady, and it's not going well, so Lucy steps in to help out.
Wait a minute. Are you wearing a wig?
What? Oh, I don't think so.
You're phony. I hate phony. I'm gonna rip that thing off your head and show everyone what a phony you are.
I don't think so.
And then they just like drive her comatose body back home while talking about how dating these days is so wacky, right? What was that? I'm sorry, can we do that one more time? So Gru and Lucy have developed a kind of rapport, whatever that means. But her being transferred to Australia is really kind of harsh on the mojo, you know what I'm saying? And Gru's taking this pretty Australia. This happens.
Some peanuts or pretzels?
That's a good joke. That's a good joke.
I just did a boom boom.
Well, isn't this just the most terrifying thing? This is exactly what it looks like in my dreams when I take a couple too many melatonin gummies. But all the same, Lucy realizes that she can't move to Australia because, gosh darn it, she just has to be with Gru or nothing.
I choose Gru. I choose Gru! Thank you, Gru Stewardess! You're welcome!
What is this movie? You know, okay, I gotta be honest here. I have totally ripped these movies off the past 4 years they've been coming out. Like, I just assume they were all these like unwatchable minion cringe fests. Your father and I are getting... Okay, this is the only good one that exists. And like, there is a lot of that. But I don't know, it's just like, maybe it's because I had such low expectations, but these movies are a lot more watchable than I thought they'd be. Kind of like with some other movies I've enjoyed recently. These movies are just so aware of what they want to be, and they just are that the whole time. But okay, so, in the end, just to summarize here.
At Sprouts, our wide open layout invites you in.
I know that all.
With health.
We find out that this guy is actually El Macho. He did in fact steal the serum and he framed the other guy at the mall. And then with the help of Gru's old assistant, who works for him now, he kidnaps a bunch of minions and turns them into purple minions who do evil purple stuff. But then, what do you know? The assistant guy is actually a reverse quadruple agent. He goes back to work for Gru secretly, and they make an antidote, and so Gru, the Corals, and the other minions all storm El Macho's super secret hideout and turn the bad minions back into annoying minions. Save Lucy, who gets kidnapped by El Macho when she's trying to find Gru to confess her love or something. This all happens in the span of like 12 minutes. And then so on and so forth, wham bam, blah blah blah. Gru and Lucy are on a rocket headed for a volcano. This is where Gru finally gets the courage to ask Lucy out.
Listen, Lucy, you may not get out of this alive. So, I need to ask you a question.
Better make it quick.
If I asked you out on a date, what would you have said?
Are you kidding me? Yes!
Okay, yeah, just one more hypothetical question here before we die. If it appears like maybe I was leading in for a kiss, would you throw it in your mouth a little bit or like a lot? Also, theoretically speaking, how many anime figures and/or body pillows would be too many? And is that number perhaps more than like 40? And then they jump off the rocket, they go on 147 more dates, and they get married. The end. I still agree with myself for my Despicable Me 1 video because, like, why wouldn't I? I'm always right. But the minions are definitely the worst part of these movies. Like, how are these guys the takeaway from all this? However, as a whole, I actually do enjoy these movies way more than I thought I would. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please watch another one, since that's how the algorithm... Gru and Lucy are sent in to capture Brat and retrieve the diamond. Get ready for...
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, you know, these minions just saved those women's lives, okay? If not for them, they'd have to sit and listen to these guys talk about how upset they are about cartoon butts and/or video game boobies. Anyway, so what do you know? Gru goes after Brat, and long story short, he ends up in a bubblegum speed... Well, I said I would do it, and by golly, here we are. Despicable Me 4, a global sensation that's earned like $1 bajillion so far. The continuation of the great experiment of how bad can a series of movies get and still make money. They're coming for you fast and furious, watch out! So, if you've been following my Despicable Me videos so far, you've seen how I actually really liked the first one, and the second one was pretty okay too, and then the third one is just kind of just the whole time.
Looking for a Mr. Gru.
Gru and Cretino Tupac!
Just regretting all my life choices.
But Despicable Me 4 is out now, and finally I can make a video about it. So come along, kids, let's see what kind of wackadoo shenanigans Gru and friends are getting into this trio or whatever, showing up at Gru's high school reunion. But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Skillshare. Well, August is about halfway over, which means summer's almost done, which means in just a few months, 2015 will be 10 years ago, so... What better time to get started and finally learn that thing you always wanted to learn right now? Golly gee, I sure wish I could learn how to draw an anime. Well, Skillshare has a whole learning path just for people like you. But Alex, how do I know where to start? Where to go from there? I'm so glad you asked that question. Well, Skillshare has the answer to all of this with what they call learning paths. Learning paths are where they've bundled several classes together all on the same topic that cover first starting out as a novice and then going all the way to professional skill level and everything in between. Let's say you're thinking about opening an Etsy store. On the learning path, they teach you how to even start thinking about your shop, then how to build it, how to take photos for whatever you're selling, and now suddenly you've got an Etsy store that's better than like 90% of all the other ones. And when I say Skillshare has almost any topic, I'm not kidding, okay? Here's just a few of the categories they have. Photography, graphic design, music, cooking, business, marketing, YouTube. Like literally almost anything you could want to learn, it's here. So if this sounds interesting to you, guess what? The first 500 people who become Skillshare members using my link will get their first membership month completely free. You can do both of these learning paths I just mentioned completely free. You literally have nothing to lose. So click my link down below, get creative today. Okay, back to the show. Exercise? I thought you said extra fried. Also, apparently Drew graduated in 1985, which means he's almost like 60. Honestly, I had no concept of how old he was because like this kid's been 7 going on 45 his entire life, you know what I mean? Anyway, so at this reunion party, Drew runs into one of his old classmates named Maxine.
If it isn't Gruser the loser! Well, if it isn't Maxime Lamar, you look magnificent! Yes, I know. What did you think, huh? I was going to look like a bored loser with a dad bod? Oops! Looks like you beat me to it, no?
Hey, wow, it's not my fault I've been locked in like a Dragon Ball Z fight my whole life between me and Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies, you know what I'm saying? So as you can see, Maxine here is kind of a jerk. And like, this is precisely one of the main reasons why I've never gone back to a high school reunion ever. I mean, like, my 20-year reunion is coming up in a couple years, which I believe that I hope to never see any of those people ever again, okay? The last thing I need in my life is going back to Sioux City, Iowa, and having everyone be like, oh, hey, wait a minute, aren't you that dude who had his picture up in the girls' bathroom that said, do not give this guy hugs no matter how many times he asks where they are? But anyway, after this, their old principal gets up on stage and it's time to announce some kind of something.
Now we're going to kick off the festivities by announcing the winner of our most coveted award, the Golden Alumni. The winner of this year's Golden Alumni is my favorite student, Maxime Lamar.
You know, I don't know why it's always like this, but like teachers and parents, they'll be like, oh, that Connor, Chase, Parker, Tanner, he's such a nice young man, my favorite student. And like, are we thinking of the same guy? This dude? The guy who looked at me and said, your face looks like if SpongeBob had a butt. He wasn't very smart, but he could throw out football real good. But turns out Maxine has actually been planning some kind of supervillain something or other this whole time.
Behold, the power of the cockroach!
Well, you kind of seem like a lot right now. And like, maybe this is just me, okay? But like the whole Maxine cockroach thing it's just like the dumbest villain idea. I mean, it's quite literally just Roach Coach from Powerpuff Girls, you know what I'm saying? And like, as cringy and dumb as Brat was in the third movie, his aesthetics were so cool. And like, you can tell they had a lot of fun making this whole like 80s Brat toy thing, right? But like, this? Like, what the heck even? Who is this speaking to? But now turns out Drew was actually here because he was waiting around for Maxine to do his little Sailor Moon transformation thing, so he got arrested on behalf of the AVL.
So, my sad little friend, what do you say about that, huh? Well, I'd say you're under arrest.
But of course, in the end, Maxine gets captured and put in villain jail, and the day is saved. And so Gru goes back home, and we get to meet this cute little family, and turns out there's been a rather important development between movies 3 and 4.
1, 2, 3 girls, 1 wife. Is missing.
No, I think that's all of us. You know what? I keep forgetting. This guy.
Wait a second, Gru and Lucy made a baby? You mean they did the... Now the big joke of this movie, really the entire point of the whole baby character, honestly, is that he doesn't like Gru very much and makes this very obvious.
Behind that sourpuss, you love your dada. Go on, say it. Dada. Dada.
Yeah, of course he loves you. He just doesn't show it on his face.
This movie's dumb. It's not funny at all. So while this is all going on, just like right after they arrest Maxime, the AVL boss guy comes over to Gru's house with some oh-so-surprising plot twists.
Maxime Lamal has sent you a message from prison.
I break out of prison. I'm coming for my revenge, Gru. But this time, I won't go so easy on you. And I know where you live, so you better sleep with one eye open.
He escaped yesterday.
So what we come to find out is that this Maxim guy, he's been obsessed with hating Gru ever since high school because Gru stole his song for the talent show and went out first, so Maxim had to quit and be all embarrassed or whatever. And now holding on to this grudge for the last, 40 years or whatever, Maxine has escaped the prison and is coming for Gru because he knows where he lives. And so Gru and his family have no choice but to go to witness protection so nobody can find him.
Oh no, you're gonna love it. It's called the Safe House, and it's fun, and it's safe, and it's fantastic.
What about all my friends?
You'll make new friends, probably better.
Oh.
Aren't she freaking brag about it? Look at me, I'm in middle school, I have friends.
I'm sorry you can't go with us, Lucky. Take care of him. Be good, Lucky. Don't forget to practice your trick.
I would do anything for you, Agnes. But this whole thing kind of makes no sense because everyone already knows where everybody lives. Their houses look like this, right? The Vector's got this giant Adam and Eve product thing going on here, and golly gee whiz, maybe someone lives in that giant Rubik's Cube house over there. Who can say? But anyway, so Gru and everyone moved to a new town called Mayflower.
Look at these lawns, the flowers. That is cool. Are we really gonna
And here it is. Your new home.
Hey, wow, it's about the motion of the ocean, okay? Now, while Gru and his family have to move to this town, the AVL guy takes all the minions, except these three for some reason, and relocates them all to the AVL headquarters where he turns some of them into a superhero Avengers team called the Mega Minions. And as we've seen many more examples of in this movie, this whole thing with the Mega Minions, literally has nothing to do with anything. It just goes nowhere and fills time. I don't know why, but in the third movie and really in the fourth movie a lot, they just have to stuff as much Minions garbage in these movies as humanly possible, even if it makes no sense. And the Minions literally have their own movie franchise, so why are you shoving them into this one so much? I mean, Despicable Me 4 is basically just Minions 2.5, really. But whatever, anyway, so like I said, Gru and his family moved to a new town and have to start a brand new life.
What it lacks in comfort, more than makes up for in functionality. There's even a fully automated lockdown mode. Isn't that fun?
Ooh, full lockdown mode. Yay!
It has a vending machine! I love this place!
Now, just like in the third movie, they go through all the setup with the main villain guy and what he's doing, why he's doing it, and whatever, and then he just sits around and does literally nothing for 2/3 of the movie. I don't know who it is at Illumination who thinks that this makes a good story, but why? But all the same, after Gru and his family moved to this new town, the movie kind of just turns into episodes of a TV show where everyone's doing random stuff that has nothing to do with anything. The mom starts a new job as a hairdresser and sets this lady's hair on fire, and so she chases her around like the Terminator. Or Gru wants to be friends with the neighbor dad guy, so he plays tennis against him. But then, psych, turns out it's just more classic Minion slapstick. Oh boy.
What? That doesn't count. And you can't just jump. This is ridiculous.
Honestly, the fault is all mine here for expecting anything else. And I mean, it's just so weird because they set up a villain, they introduce this new baby, they move to a new town, and then nothing happens for the next 45 minutes of the movie. I mean, a lot of stuff happens, but also nothing happens. You get what I'm saying? There is one of these little vignette episode things that I actually thought was pretty good. So when they move to this new town, we see that the daughter of the family next door is being kind of sus, you know what I'm saying? And we come to find out that she actually knows who Gru really is, and then she kind of blackmails him into teaching her how to be a villain.
It is I, Happy Prescott, villainess.
Have a seat, Gru.
Okay, why am I here?
Because, like you, I was born to be bad.
So she really wants to be a bad girl, TM, and wants to steal something from Gru's old high school so that they'll have to let her enroll next year as a new supervillain.
And
It's where we are going to steal the school mascot.
You want to steal Lenny? Have you ever even seen a honey badger? They literally eat bees. Honey badger don't care.
Wow, what a timely reference. But like I said, break into the high school and do a bunch of cool villain stuff and steal the honey badger dude guy with the help of Gru's new baby, of course.
What?
And like, as I was watching this movie, I kept thinking about how like this whole part here really should have been like the main A-plot of the movie. Because like you could have extended this premise into something pretty interesting about how Gru and Lucy have this new baby now, right? And that means that Gru really has to give up his old villain ways and he has to be a dad. But he still kind of misses it, okay? But then the neighbor girl's like, you're so cool. And then Gru's like, you know what? I am cool. Just look at how many Polly Pockets I have. And he secretly like teaches her all his villain techniques or whatever.
All right, let's see what I got in here. Come on. Aha! And then while this is going on, the new baby plot thread could have been something about how like the girls start feeling inadequate because now Gru has a biological child. And you know, this could have come like full circle as a callback to the first movie about how they're like foster kids or whatever. And so the B plot could have been about them dealing with their feelings about like, do you still love us the same? Are you still our dad? Is this baby more important to you now? And like, you know, I'm not saying it should have been like super deep, but it could have been the sort of like family emotional bonding story that we got in the first movie. But they don't do any of this, okay? But instead we just get this dumb little side story about how they're in witness protection, but Agnes doesn't want to lie about her name because lying is bad.
Now, we have 2 new students today ready to begin their journey to awesomeness. You, tiny girl, step forward and tell us your name.
My knee? I can't.
Like somehow they just could not figure out what to do with literally anyone except Gru in this one. But all the same, with Gru and Penny stealing the honey badger, now the high school principal knows where Gru's family are, which means Maxine knows. Because like, remember back at the beginning of the movie when they were like friends, you know? And so the principal goes to Gru's house to get the honey badger back, a la Dr. Octopus. And then right when this is happening, Maxine shows up in Gru's super secret safe house.
Say au revoir, Gru! Oh, and don't worry, he will be very happy with his new daddy, right? Look at him! Oh, he loves his new daddy! Junior! No!
And the movie ends with Maxine kidnapping Le Bébé and turning him into a cockroach, but then the power of family snaps him out of it, and Gru and him work together to beat up Maxine.
Bad baby. You are going to see that rat, huh?
And then he like falls off the scaffolding, even though we've seen him flying around several times in this movie, but like, just kidding, he falls all the way down. What? Okay. So the day is saved, and Gru decides to do one more karaoke talent show thing with Maxine in the prison because, you know, they're like friends now, I guess. And so then obviously we have to get Vector from the first movie doing some flossing stuff because that's the kind of movie this is, so if I have to see it, so do it. But like, having watched all 4 of these movies now, it really is kind of amazing how much better Despicable Me 1 is than literally anything else Illumination has ever done. Like, all their movies make a ton of money, right? So like, I guess at the end of the day, who cares? But like, Despicable Me 1 is genuinely a good art film. And then they were just like, you know what? We should definitely never do this again. Well, hey, guess what? The next Minions movie comes out in a couple years, so guess I gotta start watching those now.
Shop Ralph's for thousands of appetizing ingredients and big savings. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
I don't know if there's been a franchise with a bigger downfall than Home Alone. I mean, Home Alone 1 and 2, absolute classic. Yes, they make no sense whatsoever, but they're still totally watchable. They're a perfectly fun time for what they are. But since Home Alone 2, they've kept trying to make more, and like, whatever I thought about the first 2 movies, nothing prepared me for this. Something I never knew until I made my video about the second movie is that the original Home Alone movies were written and produced by John Hughes, and Home Alone 3 was also written and produced by John Hughes. So like, this movie's actually a legit, real Home Alone movie. I mean, all the rest of these are just like literal trash. Why does this look like a Mr. Beast thumbnail? I hired 200 sleep paralysis demons. But still, Home Alone 3, the movie that the entire planet completely forgot about. But like I said, this is a real, actual Home Alone movie. I mean, how bad could it be? Well, trust me, you all are not ready for this. But before that, really quick, guess what? My Skillshare class is up on Skillshare right now. So I made this short little class about how I animate my videos, and not just about what software, like what tablet I use or things like that, but like I break down the animation techniques that I use, how I can make that, and also how you can use the same techniques and ideas to make your characters do anything, really. Because all animation is based on like the same simple, fundamental principles that really anyone can learn if you just try. And here's the thing, with Skillshare being the sponsor of this video, the first 500 people who use my link to sign up get their first month of Skillshare for free. So then you can check out my class, do the whole thing, zero obligation. How about that? And while you're there, you can check out any number of classes Skillshare has, because they have a whole ton of classes on pretty much any topic you can probably think of. You want to learn like literally any music instrument, self-improvement techniques like journaling or how to get over a creative slump. You want to learn how to make cool stuff for weddings that your friends are definitely going to be jealous of? Well, wouldn't you know, you can learn almost anything on Skillshare. Now, some of you may know I used to make a lot of video essays on this channel before I started this animation stuff, and I'll tell you right now, true story, I first learned how to do motion graphics and how to use Adobe After Effects from Skillshare. And then I took what I learned from that and applied it to animation, and now here we all are, so thanks, Skillshare. So if this interests you, I highly recommend you click my link down below, sign up to Skillshare, and start learning something new today. Okay, back to the show. So in this movie, our main character is Alex Pruitt, just your average 8-year-old suburban kid trying to survive the winter after Christmas by shoveling driveways. For some reason, this movie takes place in January. Like, why would you ever do that? Whatever. Anyway.
I'm exhausted and sweaty, but you can't see because I'm all covered up.
You were supposed to deal with the snow promptly, weren't you? We had an understanding, and you broke it. Your word is worthless.
Sorry, that'll be no charge, Mrs.
So you can tell the neighborhood I stiffed you on a snow removal job.
Why are adults always like this when you're a kid? Anyway, so as payment, she gives him this toy car she has, because at the airport earlier that day, she grabbed the wrong bag at the security, the x-ray machine thing. So Alex takes that and goes home. He starts to feel really itchy all of a sudden. So he goes up to the bathroom to check out what's going on.